There's Dominic. Okay, I'll start while Dominic's walking now. Good morning, everyone. In accordance with Section 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. Before I continue with my remarks, I'm going to make some introductions. First, our panel. On my far left is Mr. Dominic Gully. On my immediate left is Ms. Laura Alderson. On my immediate right is Ms. Sophia Ruddock, and on my far right is Mr. Bill Dalton. We also have our Deputy Secretary Treasurer at the far left end of this desk, Barbara Bartosik. And in front of us, we have Barbara's support and our support staff. And my name is Don Taylor, and I'll be chairing the meeting today. The Committee of Adjustment considers applications for variances from the provisions of the zoning that applies to property, permission to extend or alter lawful non-conforming uses, and consent to sever property to create new lots. We acknowledge the land we're meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are now conducted in a hybrid in-person and virtual format. Some applicants and participants will make their submissions in person, and others will participate virtually by electronic means through WebEx, an online digital platform. The meetings are also streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Those who want to participate virtually and have registered in advance will be connecting with their computer, tablet, smartphone, or telephone, and have the option of participating via video or audio only. All virtual participants will automatically be muted on entry. When your item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. We ask that you also mute your devices until you're called on to speak. Those participating by video appearance will be temporarily upgraded to panelist when your item is being held. During this time, your camera will be enabled. You will only be visible during your 5-minute allotted speaking time. At all other times, your video will be disabled and you will be reinstated as an attendee. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadline. Those participating through WebEx are not allowed to use share screen or any other panelist controls during a video appearance. The host will remove you from the panelist role if you fail to respect this instruction. People attending in person today who want to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on an application must fill out a decision request card, and they're sitting on the fence over to my right here. And those participating virtually need to submit a written request for a decision by email. Please ensure that you include your name, address, and email address because the Committee of Adjustment and the Toronto Local Appeal Body, TLAB, will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal the decision to TLAB or in some limited circumstances to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act and generally removed rights of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decisions. Only the applicant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, specified persons and public bodies, as those terms are defined in the Planning Act, are permitted to appeal decisions of the Committee of Adjustment. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. Our hearing procedure is that I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda, with the exception of cases where the applicant has requested that their item be deferred today. We'll dispense with those up front and then go back to the order listed on the agenda. Where an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant may proceed with their presentation if desired. When the committee does not require a presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions or take the matter into committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant agent, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I will comment when you are reaching the 5 minutes. Any presentation or other materials you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept materials at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application, which of course are the variances being requested. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee on the application. Please note that the committee may not entertain revisions to proposals at the hearing today. The committee may decide to defer the application if substantially revised to ensure the revised application is accurate and that all those entitled to notice of the application are informed of the changes. Then, individuals, either in support or opposed to the application, will be invited to speak. Generally, we first call on speakers in the hearing room and then those participating through WebEx. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussion. The application will be then taken into committee for a decision. Before hearing our first item today, we need confirmation of the minutes of the last meeting, which I believe was on September the 25th. Do we have a motion to adopt those minutes?
I can move that.
Thank you, Ms. Alderson. Is there a seconder?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Dalton. All in favor? Okay, the minutes of the meeting held on September 25th are adopted. I will ask firstly of the panel, are there any declarations of interest for items in this agenda? None? And I ask the same question of staff. Are there any declarations of interest for any item? No. Thank you. Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer, have you received any request for deferral from the agenda today?
Yes, Mr. Chair, items 3, 14, and there may be another that you can call after.
Sorry, what was the last point?
3 and 14 for
3
sure.
and 14, okay.
Oh, and item 1 now as well.
Is that late breaking news? No, is that, I don't have that
Yes.
note. Is that very recent?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, as I was sound checking the new owner of the property, he indicated that he wanted to defer the application.
Okay, and the new owner's registered to speak, so I guess we'll call on the new owner or the agent.
The new owner, the agent, is not the agent for this application anymore, I don't believe,
Okay.
or is not representing them today.
So I'll invite Mr. Veals to speak to this momentarily. And Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer, do we have any files to close this morning? Thank you. Okay, I think that's it. So we can move to deferral items, starting with number 1, 18 LEDUC Drive. And the speaker for this is the new owner of that property, Caleb Veals. Mr. Veals?
That's correct. Good morning. Thank you. My name is Caleb Veals, as you mentioned. I'm the new owner of 18 LEDUC. I just took ownership of 18 LEDUC Drive this Tuesday afternoon through a power sale. Upon arriving at the property, I saw the Committee of Adjustments meeting notice, and that has led me to contacting you. I spent all day yesterday just trying to understand and read through some of the documents to understand what was going on, because I was not aware of any of this. None of this was disclosed to me by the seller's agent, and at the time of closing, that was less than 48 hours from this meeting taking place. So I would just like to request a deferral of this file so that I, as the new owner, have a chance to review the proposal, make sure it's the direction I want to take with the property, It is my intention to legalize the building as a multi-unit residential building in the future and bring it up to code, but I would just respectfully ask for a deference so we have time to assess our options without making any rash decisions.
Thank you, Mr. Veals. Panel, any questions for Mr. Veals?
No, and if no one has any questions, I'm prepared to make a motion.
Let's have a motion then.
This is totally understandable and very reasonable to move for deferral, so I move for deferral.
Thank you, Ms. Alderson. Is there a seconder for Ms. Alderson's? Ms. Reddick, thank you. All in favor? Okay, that item is deferred unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Veals. So we can now consider the deferral request for item number 3, 20 Blakely Avenue. And the agent is Bruno Lopez.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair and committee members. My name is Bruno Lopez from MXL Engineer and Associates, located at 1649 St. Clair Avenue West. And yes, indeed, we are asking for a deferral.
And could you just explain why you want to defer?
Yes, absolutely, Mr. Chair. So we've been actively talking with planning. As you can see, probably within the submitted documentation, we submitted the revised drawings. However, because there is some tweaks and we were trying to race against time, unfortunately, it was not clear to everybody, including transportation, which required a letter, which we have now in hands. But because it was so much commotion, we rather clear everything and come to the next meeting.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lopez. Now, we have an interested participant, an area resident, Samantha Nye.
Through you, Mr. Chair, Samantha Nye is not on the WebEx meeting, and I don't believe Samantha is present. However, we do have another speaker in person, Andrew Cow.
Okay, Andrew, could you come up? Hi, could you just give us your name and address, and I just have something to say before you speak?
Absolutely. Andrew Cowie, 24 Blakely.
Okay, thank you, sir. So just so that you understand, the applicant does not want to proceed with this hearing today. They want to defer it to a later date. So we're not in a position to listen to any substantive comments you may have on what's being proposed. We just want to know if you're in agreement with deferring this application.
Unfortunately, I'm in opposition to the agreement. And in terms of deferring, I mean, I'm here now, so ideally I'd like to discuss it today, given I took time to be here. However, I do understand that there's due process to this process, and I can respect that as well. So
Okay. So you're okay with deferring to a later date?
if that's what it takes, then yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. And you and others will, of course, get the notice in advance of the next hearing.
Is there a rough timeline as to when it would be deferred to, or?
No, it'll be a matter of staff sorting out scheduling.
Okay,
I think they normally get them back on agendas, well, as soon as possible, but I
Sure.
can't say exactly.
sure, okay,
Okay, thanks very much for coming, and
yeah.
sorry if you're missing time from work.
That's okay. And let's go Blue Jays.
Exactly. I was going to say that in my opening remarks. Thank you. That's a very worthwhile comment today, if you're a baseball fan. So, the next item for deferral is
We
number,
have to move for deferral.
oh, yeah, sorry. Can we have a motion to defer item
We
3?
were distracted by the Blue Jays. I can make that motion. Hopefully, the gentleman who just spoke won't have to come back because they'll make so many changes that it will be a better application. Anyway, yes, let's move for deferral on that one.
Thank you, Ms. Alderson. Is there a seconder?
I'll second that.
Motion to defer? Thank you, Mr. Dalton. All in favor? Okay, item 3 has been deferred by a unanimous vote. And we can now move to the next deferral request or item, which is number 14, 44 Cliveden Avenue. And the agent is Tomas Goral.
Through you, Mr. Chair, Tomasz was on the line. We had a difficult time sound checking him, but he is not on the meeting anymore. So maybe we can come back to this one once he comes back.
Okay, you can just let me know
Yeah.
as and when and if he returns.
Yeah, will do.
Okay, yep. Okay. Okay, now we can go back to the,
No, Mr. Chair, I think there's someone in the audience that wants.
sorry.
Sorry. My name is Eric Del Favreau, representing 2888 Bloor Street West. It's item 15.
We're not.
No, I'd like to ask for a deferral as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay. And why is that?
There is comments from transportation and planning that both ask for a deferral. We received the planning comments yesterday, so I did speak to them late in the afternoon. I think they're not significant, and we should be able to get over any of the issues. But of course, we weren't able to do it within the last evening. So we've asked for, I don't know if there's a possibility to add the deferral that it be scheduled for the next available meeting, because I don't think they're significant.
Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer, is that possible, or?
Once we have the revised materials, then we can reschedule you.
So as long as I send them into the Committee of Adjustment,
Yeah.
like the general line, the general email?
No, directly to Annalisa Mora. She's
Yep.
the case manager on file.
Okay, I will do so.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
We have other speakers on this item.
Chair, may I ask a question of the applicant, the speaker, representing the speaker? Are you asking for a deferral because planning was asking for it? And do you know the reason why they're asking for a deferral?
I don't. I spoke to them late yesterday. They said they wanted to review it internally with urban design. I'm not sure exactly what the concern is. I know that they were meeting today internally and that they were trying to schedule a meeting with us for next week.
Have you reviewed the Transportation Services report?
Yes.
And would you agree to any of those conditions on this application
We'd like to discuss them with him further as well.
as well?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't want to be heard today?
No.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay,
Actually, I have a question. Well, since you're back up there.
go ahead.
Yes.
We had a very glowing letter from the BIA, the local BIA.
Yes.
I was just wondering if they're looking, because that is a gateway for the BIA, I'm just wondering if they're looking for some public realm space there at the corner for that purpose. Do you know?
No, I don't. Possibly, I'm not sure.
It is possible. Okay, thank you.
We'll discuss.
Okay, and I have two registered speakers, but I noticed one of them, Eric Del Favreau, is also with Remington Group, Inc.
That's myself. As the
Oh, that's
agent.
you.
Yes.
And we have Chris Brady. I thought I recognized Chris.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. How are you? My name is Mr. Brady, B-R-A-T-T-Y, Chris. We just got comments yesterday from the planning department, which I'm a little disappointed that it took so long to get them, quite frankly, Mr. Chairman. I know there's a transportation issue which we vehemently disagree with, which we will address if we have to before this committee the next time we meet. But because planning has asked us to try to solve this, they would like to make some comments. We're happy and open to listening to what they have to say. And then if necessary, we'd like to appear back before you. If we can resolve our issues, we will not have to.
Okay, great. Thanks for that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That's right. The owner, or the agent. They're both agents, yeah. And we also have apparently in person Leanna Misador from the BIA, the Kingsway BIA. Is Leanna here? Hi. Come on up. Just give us your name and business address.
I'm Leanna Misador. I represent the Kingsway BIA. I'm the coordinator. And we agree totally to what 2888 BLOOR is going to be. And it would look better than what it is right now. So I just hope you
If I
would
can
have
just jump
approved
in,
this. Yeah.
That's great, but we're not here to discuss the
Yeah.
merits or the demerits of this application. We're here to decide on whether or not to defer the item per the applicant's request. So are you in favor of a deferral to give?
Yes,
them
I'm
time
in
to
favor
sort
of that,
things out
yeah.
with Transportation and the city planning department.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you.
Any questions for Ms. Misador before we move on? Okay.
Thank you.
And there's no one else, Adam, either in the room or on WebEx? That's it?
That's correct, Mr.
Okay.
Chair. That's it.
Okay, then let's go into committee for a decision on this one, whether or not to defer the item. Is there a motion for that?
So Chairman, I was hoping to have some conversation. I feel comfortable in dealing with the application, but I understand that both the agents and have been instructed to go for deferral, but I was prepared to hear the application today.
Okay. The seconder for Mr. Gully's motion?
I can second that motion.
Thank you, Ms. Alderson. All in favor? Okay, that item is deferred unanimously. We'll see you at some point.
Thank you.
And Chris, I work.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that. We're
Chris,
going to
I-
give the planning department a reason to help
I
get
just
us.
wanted to say I've met you before, and I worked closely with your father on the then proposed NHL arena in Markham,
Absolutely.
2010.
Yes.
So let's hope it comes maybe in 2030.
I agree, Mr. Chairman.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you. Thank you. Thank you, Madam
And
Secretary.
no update on item 14.
No, Mr. Chair, I just refreshed our speakers and no Tomasz still.
Okay, well, keep me posted. Now we'll go back to the item in the agenda in the printed order, starting with item 2. 1630 Lawrence Avenue West. Purpose of the
Yes.
application is to permit a day nursery. We have 2 variances. We have urban forestry condition 2 and a support letter. I'm wondering, panel, are we comfortable with proceeding on this one on a straightforward basis, not requiring presentation? It's pretty straightforward and clear, I would think. All in agreement with that? Okay, the agent is Dinesh Sharma.
Yes, sir. Speaking.
Well, hi.
Hello.
Yeah, so Mr. Sharma, if you've just been listening to us, we don't really need a presentation on your application. It's very straightforward and clear to us. Are you okay with proceeding on the basis that we may have a question or two for you, but we don't need you to present to us? Is that satisfactory to you?
Yes, Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sharma. So
Thank you.
panel, any questions or comments? None? And Adam, I don't have any registered participants.
No, Mr. Chair, it's just the agent.
Yep, okay, good. So then let's go into committee for a motion.
Chair, I'm going to move that the 2 variances be authorized. I believe the application is a good application. The 2 variances that are being requested are desirable. Move approval with, I believe, urban forestry condition number 2.
Thank you, Mr. Gully. Is there a seconder for Mr. Gully's motion? Mr. Dalton, thank you very much. All in favor? That's approved unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Sharma. So we can now move on to item 4, 79 Ashbourne Drive. Purpose is to construct a new detached garage in the rear yard. We have 8 variances. We have urban forestry condition 2. The agent has a presentation. Transportation review department is okay. There was a previous decision on this application on August 1st, 2024. And I'm going to have a question about that. But anyway, if we can invite Alexander Overholt to speak with us. He's participating virtually. Mr. Overholt?
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Good. Just before you start, I've just got one question to note here, and I'm going to open up for questions after your presentation. But I need to ask you this first. Did the approved building back in August 2024 include an integral garage as part of the building?
No. The initial application back in the date you noted, there was an existing car parking pad in the rear of the property. which the homeowner was using as a source of parking for his vehicles.
Okay, that's good. Okay, if you can just present in a more fulsome way as you wish.
Excellent. Why, thank you so much, and thank you for pulling up the presentation. It's highly appreciated. I'm going to touch on a few of the variances only. There are 8 of them, but I believe only 2 of them require some sort of discussion. Regarding variance number 2, it talks about the gross floor area and the exaggerated FSI value. Take a look at page 3 of the presentation. I just wanted to make known that this 0.87 value is inflated due to the exception zone within the zoning bylaw that mandates that the basement portion of the accessory structure also be counted towards the FSI value of the property as well. The client does have an extensive car collection, and he does need the basement of the garage to account for storage for the vehicles as well as storage for the pool as well. Hence why we're pursuing it. Another variance I would very much like to touch upon is, of course, variance number 5 regarding the rear setback. The mandated required setback for the structure is 2.3 meters. We are proposing a 1.82 meters from the rear lot line. I just wanted to make note that in discussion with the homeowners and in review of the adjacent area, that area behind the garage is currently vacant and empty. Do not believe the reduced setback will have any negative impact towards those in the local area. Regarding the lot coverage as well, I just wanted to make note that we were previously approved for 38.48%. That counts towards the massing of the house, which is not changed in this proposal. We're strictly pursuing the addition of the detached garage in the rear, and that garage accounts towards additional 12.75%. Due to the exaggerated length of this property, as you can see here depicted on this image here, I do believe the addition of the garage in the back has little impact to the overall massing. Considering it's a single-story accessory structure in the rear with a pitched roof, I do believe that the addition of the massing is minor, which perhaps is why the planning department has yet to raise any concerns regarding our application. The other variance I would like to touch upon, if you don't mind, has to do with variance number 6, which is the drastically reduced setback to the side yard of the garage. The required setback for the corner property is 6 meters. We are pursuing the 0.62 meters. This is to allow for additional cars to be parked within the accessory structure. Transportation has strictly commented on this variance, only indicating that with the reduced setback, there is ample room for cars to park within the garage, and that they're happy to support our application. If anyone has any questions, I'm more than happy to provide some sort of clarification to those questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rowe. Panel, any questions or comments?
Chair, I just have a question with respect to access to the proposed garage. I understand that there's an existing curb cut, slightly less than 5 meters. You're asking for an additional meter. And I understand also that transportation didn't refer to this as a condition. You have discussed this curb cut with them.
We haven't discussed the curb cut with them. They strictly said they had no concerns with the variance associated with the access into the driveway. And they strictly noted that we must pursue a permit with them.
So
prior
that's
to
my
any
point.
construction.
You will be applying for a curb cut, and at that time, there may be some deposits that may be required with respect to work being done on the public road allowance. You're aware of that?
Of course. Whatever is needed will ensure proper due diligence occurs.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gully. And Mr. Overholt, are you aware of an okay with urban forestry condition 2?
Not a problem.
Okay. Any other questions, panel? Okay, let's go into committee then for a motion.
Chair, I'm prepared to speak on this item. There are a lot of variances that are being requested, but most of the variances, not most of them, all of them individually and collectively will not impact negatively on anyone else. I didn't see a report from Transportation Services requiring the applicant to apply for permit, but he understands that that is the case with respect to Matisse, that he's got to apply for an additional 1.07 meter cut. I believe the variances are appropriate, they're desirable. I'm going to move approval subject to urban forestry condition number 2.
Okay, thank you. Before I invite a seconder, Adam, can you confirm that there's no interest in this to speak?
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we have a motion to approve with the condition. Is there a seconder?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Dalton. All in favor? That's approved unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Overholt.
Thank you very much. I'll talk to you in about 1 hour.
Great. So we can now move to item 5, 39 Seneca Avenue. Purpose is to legalize and to maintain a second and third story addition above the existing dwelling and the conversion into a duplex building. The application is being considered as a new duplex dwelling. There are 6 conditions we have on file in order to comply. Community planning is okay with the application. There's a Metrolinx advisory. We have a support petition and 2 letters of opposition. In light of the letters, yes, Adam?
Through you, Mr. Chair, we also have interested parties in chambers that
On this one?
that may wish to speak on the application. Yeah, correct.
Okay. So let's first hear from the agent, Ben Baghdadi.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. This is Bomdad Ben Baghdadi from BBA Design Studio. I'm the architect and applicant for this application before you. The address for the record is 13 Hollyberry Trail in North York.
Thank you. Would you like to proceed with a presentation on your application?
Sure. Through you, Mr. Chair. We had a building permit to construct a 1-story addition and convert the house to a 2-dwelling unit. The permit was issued. The construction was going ahead. If I can ask the staff to have my report on the screen, page 2, please. Second page. Thank you. Yeah, if you can zoom in. During the construction, due to the water damage on this first floor exterior walls, as you can see, the sheeting is almost fully rotten, and the walls were removed and collapsed for the safety and rebuilt. At that time, the inspector brought up the issue that we have to get a revised building permit, and we did. And at that point, we added the 3rd floor to this application. And we sent everything to the city, marking that the side walls are being removed and are new. To our surprise, the building permit was issued and the construction went ahead. At the stage of framing inspection, plumbing, and at the early of HVAC installation, the inspector gave him the order to comply and stop them, saying that I don't need a revision. The building has to be a new house permit, which is a technical new house as per CDS staff. Look at this type of applications. And as such, we applied for a new house application. And here we are before you with the variances as a result of the existing house being rebuilt. The foundation is existing, nothing changed. Actually, they made some of the walls smaller. The house footprint is smaller. Our variances are mainly technical due to the existing house, and we do comply with the massing, height, and the length and depth variances, the bylaws. I think that will resolve. I would like to hear the neighbors, and if any of the staff have any, members of the committee have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer.
Thank you, Mr. Baghdadi. Before we proceed, panel, any questions or comments?
Chair, I have a question.
Sure.
Can you kindly outline what variances of the 6 are already an existing condition?
Sure. Variance number 1, number 2, variance number 5. And these are the existing setbacks of the house that were existing. Variance number 3, during the construction, due to the error, we were proposing to raise the first floor, and the contractor raised it about 7.5 inches higher than what was approved by the city. And the last variance regarding the rear yard soft landscaping, presently there is 0 landscaping. And due to the oversized garage that we have existing, we removed the entire rear yard hardscape and just kept a couple of feet of walkway to gain access to the rear, access to the second floor, which is from the rear, which planning department accepted this, and actually they mentioned that this is in keeping with the neighborhood, and what we're doing is actually an improvement.
So, new variances before us are variance number 3 and 6. Is that correct?
Variance number, we have 6 variances. The variances that are not part of the existing house, although the rear, the variance number 6 that deals with the landscaping also is an existing condition that we are improving. And the variance regarding the second floor deck, variance number 4, actually our deck has a 4 feet side yard setback or 1.2 meter, but our examiner took it to the edge of the parapet, and we also having a privacy screen, and deck setback is technically 4 feet or 1.2 meter. We shouldn't have this variance, but our examiner has a different point of view.
I think I understand. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions, panel? Okay, let's invite our in-person speaker. Sorry, could you come up to the microphone and speak to us? Thanks.
I'm here with the owner of 4677, the next door neighbor, Alan Yong. I just come here to translate for him.
Okay.
4677 what?
Dundas Street West.
Sorry, sir, that's the next item. We're talking about 39 Seneca.
Oh, Seneca still?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Seneca still. We'll call you again.
Okay, so does that mean we don't have a speaker in-house on number 5?
No, we still do.
We still do.
Yeah, we still do.
Who is that person?
Man, do you want to come up to the podium?
Hello, my name is Mrs. Porto, and I live on Cuga Avenue. I'm referring to the building they want to build on 39.
What is your actual address?
My address is 47 Cuga Avenue. I live on the next street to Seneca, the building they want to build. I was just listening to the man that was saying about digging. That has no basement in that building. They know that. Now he's trying to dig it out by hand. I can't see that at all. Number 2, the property is on, part of it's on a laneway, and he wants to put a 2 or 3 story building. We have no 3 story buildings in our neighborhood whatsoever. We have duplexes, which are 2 stories, down the end of my street, fine. This guy wants to make all these other requests. Now, I live on 47 Cuga, and right now he's got 2, they look like boxes, not like a house, okay? Looks like an elevator he's building. He's way too high across the street from me. It comes way over top of their building. When I like to sit outside or sit on my deck or my front yard, I can't see nothing. This guy's, it's way too high. He taken an old house, which was there, I know, a wooden house, a frame house, and he wants to tear it down and build. That's fine and dandy, but he has not dug out a foundation for this whole house at all, right now. I don't know what he's telling you, but this is not true. Anyhow, what I'm objecting to is it's blocking my view and everybody else's view that lives around there, because we cannot see. This place is way beyond what anything in our neighborhood is like.
So can you just tell them this? Because I've lived there 60 years. I bought the house because it was a bungalow. And the whole street is nothing but bungalows, except the other end, which you have duplexes. Duplexes in our neighborhood are only 2 stories. We do not have any 3 stories, which he's asking for.
Okay. Well, just in terms of, will we tell him? No, we won't, but you are, and he'll be speaking, he'll be speaking to you. The other point I would remind you of is that although you have a difficulty with the height, especially relative to your house and the others on the street, being mostly bungalows, there are no height variances being requested here. So the zoning bylaw allows the height, notwithstanding what's predominantly on the street. And I know that's difficult for people that have lived for a long time on a street of bungalows, but it's the zoning that has to be considered, you know, along with the other things here. And his proposed height is permitted in the bylaw.
Now, if that is permitted, he's going to block the light on the front of my, if I'm looking out my front window, is that allowed?
Well, that is one of the impacts of a bylaw that allows a height. Yes, it is an impact. And you've told us about that impact. Mr. Baghdadi will respond to that, and we will consider it in our deliberations as well.
Okay, if there's nothing already like that in the neighborhood, and you let that happen, then anybody's going to be doing that.
Presumably, all these bungalows, I'm assuming they're under the same zoning requirements, that whole street could presumably be at the height that he's proposing.
Oh my God, no, so we'll have to move. Okay,
And is there anything else for now?
No, I'm basically, because that was my foundation, because I lived in that area for 60 years, and
Yep.
we don't see this. Yet you're saying also, there's one more thing. He was saying about going 3 stories high, okay? I thought the rules were after if it was any 3 stories or high, you had to have outside, like stairs. They're saying that's no longer existing. Is that true?
Well, that would be a building permit requirement. We don't deal with issues like that, but it will be dealt with. If there's a requirement for it, the building permit will identify it and then require it. But it's not part of this application, and it's not part of our deliberations today.
Okay, it's also in his application, he says he wants to put like a deck outside. There's no room. And right now, there's a laneway there too, right? So basically, I don't see him doing that. And this building has been taking forever. It's still only wood.
Well, you're raising that as a concern, so Mr. Baghdadi can.
I am got concerns.
Yeah. Okay, is that it?
Yes, I think so.
Thanks, ma'am. Any other questions before the lady leaves? Okay. So, is there anyone else that wants to speak to this?
I think
Potentially, there are other people that are in chambers interested in this application, but they indicated that they may or may not speak, so. Oh.
There's a woman waving her hand.
Come on up. You got a lady behind you as well. You better sort out who's speaking first.
Hello. Okay, hi. My name is Rena Cooney. I live at 17 Avon Crescent. I'm just around the corner. I've been in the neighborhood for 66 years. And I just have one quick question. I did submit something in writing as well as photos. And I hope the committee has the opportunity to look at the photos to show why Helen, our neighbor, and myself, and several others that are participating in my letter have concerns over. So I wasn't planning to speak, but I figured I have to speak. If I don't speak, then I cannot complain. So I don't know if you'd like for me to read my letter or highlight some of the things in my letter that I think is very, very
Highlights
valuable.
would be sufficient. We do have your letter, and we've all read it.
Yes.
If there's anything you want to sort of highlight out of that?
Well, I find that I know that the city has minor variance test requirements, and I find that a building like this actually doesn't fall under all the requirements, and it does fail to meet some of them. And I think this is where I would like the committee to consider maybe possibly discussing these requirements with the owner and possibly making some modifications to make it more in line with the characteristics of the neighborhood.
Do you have any, can you tell us which of there are 4 tests?
Okay. Oh, I did. I actually wrote them out. I spent a time in thinking about this, and so I feel that the minor variance tests are failed for the structure is way too large for the actual lot size. It is so normally I think there's a floor space area, and you cannot exceed that floor. It's and like in Roncesvalles where they build these huge houses, and they've been asked to make them a little bit of a smaller footprint. So that way you still have some soft landscaping area, which will complement the neighborhood. This is what I'm looking at as to why I think that, for example, it doesn't meet the criteria for soft landscaping. If you look at that build, and I've taken a view of it, if you look in the backyard, there is no backyard. It's a house that was extended, a little portion of probably like a condo-sized balcony, and then you've got a huge garage. So it's taken away from the soft landscaping. Same thing in the front. They've moved the house forward. So now the house is almost at the sidewalk. So again, it's taken away from the physical characteristics of the street view, the sight lines of the street. So yes, and it does, because it's large, it does impact the sunlight and the privacy around the surrounding homes. I don't live there, but I do feel, since I have lived there for 66 years, that it's upsetting. So the building is not consistent with or complementary to the adjacent land uses. It's very tall, and it lacks soft landscaping since the rear yard has been reduced to a large 3-story extension. They have really extended the footprint of the house quite far into the backyard. And also, the proposal fails to comply with the requirement of the zoning bylaw, as the building is too large for the site. That's why they're asking for all these variances in 6 items. So that's concerning. And also because they're asking for such a large footprint on a home, its parking is problematic in the City of Toronto in general, and it will also create more parking problems for this neighborhood. And also, I understand that this is zoned as an RM for multi-dwelling homes, but it's an odd fit. As you can see, you've got 2 little houses, and then there's this big apartment. And on the other side, most of the houses in there are single-family bungalows, but we do have some really lovely 2-story homes that have come into the neighborhood that are being used as duplexes because they have legal basement apartments, and they look wonderful, and they complement the neighborhood. It's something that you want to go into that neighborhood and look at. And I welcome that, but that looks like a box. And I think the City of Toronto is trying to get away from the box.
You just have a few seconds?
Yeah, okay. So I said, so in general, I just am concluding that we feel that the legalization of this 3-story building does not pass the variance test. And it's too apartment-like. It's very close to the houses. The lot is too small and narrow. If you Google this house on Google right now, you will see what it looked like compared to what it is now. And it sits, it's odd, unattractive, and out of place in comparison with the surrounding homes. And I've provided photos. And I just wanted to say that I think the official plan, what I understand is, it is designed to promote the characteristics of the neighborhood. It's supposed to promote compatibility, and it's...
Sorry, ma'am, you're way over
Okay.
time. I'm going to have to ask you to wrap.
Okay.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
So I'm just saying is, what I recommend is maybe revisit this, make it a little bit smaller, shorter, because I think it's greater than 12 meters, and I think the footprint needs to be a little smaller.
Okay, thanks, ma'am. Panel questions, comments? Any other speakers at home or online?
there are more like interested persons in the chambers. I'm not sure if they wanted to speak. No. Okay.
Okay. So, Mr. Baghdadi? Sir?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If I
said
can,
You
there
have,
are a lot-
you have
there-
5 minutes to present your rebuttal.
Yes, there are a lot of comments. To start with, we had the building permit to build this house 3-story as of right. And if the first floor walls due to the water damage were not removed, we wouldn't be here today. So we, as of right, we could have a 3-story house with the same setbacks and everything. Something that the neighbors probably missed, that this is a technical new house. The foundations are existing. We didn't add any new foundation.
No.
We did not push the house closer to the street or add it to the length. Regarding the lights, we have 2 sets of garages and a laneway between us and the first lady who represented and complained about the light. I mean, we are too far away. I'm not sure if we can technically even blocking any light. Sun, definitely no, because we are on the north side of her property. 3 stories are permitted. We don't need a parking space. Another issue came up. Multiplexes are exempted from having any parking spaces, but we actually have 2 parking inside the garage existing. So that's a huge improvement. The other issues that were raised regarding the deck is within a second floor roof. We are not pushing the deck outside. It's inside the house, basically. It's like a condo, one of the members just pointed out. And also we're having a privacy screen. That deck is also as of right. And again, I pointed out we have just a deck setback, which is taken to the parapet instead of the privacy screen that we are showing. And as we know, cities always try to intensify. Neighborhoods are changing. I know it probably is a bit hard to see a 3-story, and I'm very sure they will see a lot more coming up in this neighborhood. And that's as of right. Multiplexes, 6plexes, and 3-story in this neighborhood are as of right. We do not have any FSI or GFA variance. We do comply with the height and massing. And again, the only reason we are here before you today is because the existing house that the first floor walls were removed are closer to the side lot lines and the front. And we actually improved the rear yard soft landscaping. We had 0. So now we have almost 30%, which is significantly improved. And we do comply with the front yard soft landscaping, which is the only landscaping can be visually be seen from the street when you're passing. Nobody can see this rear yard soft landscape. I think I addressed everything. If I missed, I apologize. I appreciate if someone can point out if I missed something, I can address that one as well.
Okay, thank you. Can I just ask a question about variant 6? How did you improve the soft landscaping situation?
Presently we have 0 soft landscaping. Everything is paved. We are removing all that hardscape and replacing with grass. And instead of 0 landscaping, we have 31.93% landscaping, which is a significant improvement. And the other reason that there's no way we can comply is because of the oversized existing garage is eating up the backyard, and we cannot replace it with the soft landscaping.
Okay, thanks. Panel, any other questions or comments for Mr. Baghdadi? No?
Can I bring up one more thing now?
No, I'm sorry.
But he spoke now. I just want to clarify.
No, ma'am.
Something he said is not.
Ma'am, no, you can't add anything. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You've spoken and
So now what do we do?
I'll tell you what we're going to do.
I just wanted to add that I do think the design with the setback of the 3rd floor is actually pretty sensitive in terms of massing, and I actually, there is no height variance, and yeah, so I'm fairly happy with that 3rd floor. I don't think it's going to be offensive at all.
Okay, well, I think we're ready to go into committee for maybe some more comments or discussion or a motion. So, anybody have any views or?
Well, with that, I'd just like to thank everyone for their comments, and I get that change is never welcomed and it's hard to accept, but that change that is happening with this building is largely as of right, and the variances that they are seeking are very technical. So with that, I'm going to move a motion for approval, as I do believe the application meets the 4 tests and there are no conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Dalton. Is there a
And
second?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Ms. Alderson. All in favor? Thank you very much. The application is approved unanimously. Are we going to be interested in a break at some point?
Maybe now.
Not, maybe now?
Yeah, and then we'll come back at a 42.
Well, how about 10 to? 5 minutes. You can't even get where you're going in 5 minutes.
I can't fill my water bottle.
So we're just going to adjourn briefly for a 10-minute break, and we'll resume at 10:50.
I thought he was treated that third floor with a little bit of sensitivity. I think it's going to be just fine. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she just doesn't like them. Her stories, that's it.
Okay.
Tomasz, can you hear me? Hi, I'm muted. Sorry, give me 1 second.
that number 14? Adam? Is that number 14? Looks like an automatic deferral anyway. So he's not going to have a problem with that? So he's talking to some people? The owner, I guess?
That woman, the small representation.
Yeah.
Within my earshot and deliberately in my earshot. I wasn't allowed to leave
Sure, go ahead. Read your zoning bylaws, people.
Yeah, and you know, I actually think LABURNHAM is a big piece of shit. It could actually be an interesting house next.
No, it's quite in keep. That's it there, right?
Yeah, this. Which is right beside this two-story, right?
Yeah.
And there's another two-story on this.
Yeah.
And I thought the three-story treatment was pretty sensitive.
Yeah, it is.
No, it wasn't just straight up and down.
No?
Anyway, you know, people, as Bill said, people find change hard, right?
I took great pleasure in shutting her down at the end.
Yeah, I know. I have no tolerance for people like that. I just am so uneducated and grammar. I just have no tolerance for that.
I hope she doesn't know where my car is. I think I got her. Although she was here at 9 o'clock.
And the other woman who actually spoke fairly articulately, she was like, "Welcome to the city of Toronto. This is what the city of Toronto is." I didn't want to get into it. I didn't want to get into a conversation with it, but they were definitely speaking to what I did.
Absolutely.
I thought, I don't want to get into this. I need a bulletproof vest if I go out there after some of these.
Hopefully she'll be gone by 1 o'clock.
Are we going for lunch dinner?
Sure.
Yeah. Sophia, are we going for lunch dinner?
Red Cardinal?
Are we going for lunch today? After
Finish? We're done?
I don't know.
We're done.
No, we're not done.
No, but assuming we are done, would you like to go for lunch anyway? Or no? No?
You don't want to go
I'll
for
go
lunch?
with you.
Okay, I'll go if you want to.
Hi, Tomasz. Can you hear me? Tomasz Goral? Hello? Tomasz? 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 Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi, there we go. Hi. Hello?
Hello?
Wait, can we unmute the room? Tomasz?
Yeah, speaking. Yeah.
There we go. Okay, great. I'm gonna put you back on mute, but I'm presumably your deferral request will.
It's going to be the next one?
I don't know. We'll see. Potentially.
If he's ready, we'll deal with it right now. Is he ready to proceed?
He's.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Like,
Yeah.
proceed
Okay,
proceed in requesting his deferral.
Okay, so we're going to resume now. We're going to deal with an item which is an automatic deferral, item 14. 44, is it Cliveden Avenue?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And the agent who we're listening to right now is Tomas Goral. So, Mr. Goral, are you satisfied with treating this as a deferral?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and do we have any other speakers, Adam, in-house or at home?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so let's, panel, let's go into committee and make a motion on the deferral. Pardon me? Yeah, what's,
There's no variance required. They've made revisions.
Got it. Thank you.
it was prompted by the zoning department, correct?
Yes, that is correct. I guess there was some wordage that was done incorrectly in regards to the parking spot.
Yeah.
And then there wasn't enough time to send out the new notice, so they said that it's going to be an automatic deferral.
Right.
Okay, and you're okay with that? And there's nobody else
have
to
no
speak
choice.
to this? So we're in committee for a decision.
Okay, so with that, I'd move a motion to defer so the applicant can retool, rejig, and then get the correct notice out.
Thank you, Mr. Dalton. Is there a seconder for Mr. Dalton? Thank you, Ms. Ruddock. All in favor? Okay, item 14 has been deferred.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We'll see you again.
Yep, thank you. Bye.
So we'll now go back to item 6, 4675 Dundas Street West. Purpose is to construct a new detached dwelling currently under construction. There are 6 variances. We have urban forestry conditions 1 and 2. We have a presentation from the agent, Mr. Overholt. We have 2 opposition letters, and we have the owner of 6 Old Oak Road, directly behind this subject property, Mr. Howard Yee. And I think Mr. Yee is here with an agent or a representative. You two gentlemen? I'm not calling on you right now. I just want to.
No, Mr. Yee is virtual. These are the neighbors at 4677 in Chambers.
So I'll be inviting Mr. Yee to speak.
Correct, as well as Alan Camwin Young from 4677.
Okay,
Yep,
we'll get there.
yep.
I'll invite you up soon. So, Mr. Overholt, I guess in light of the opposition, and you do have a presentation, so we can hear that.
Excellent, thank you, and I'm happy to provide clarification as to why we are pursuing these minor variances today.
Good.
I wanted to make known that we are already in possession of a building permit for this property. It is active and construction is currently underway. During the construction, the clients have thought about making a few alterations to the scope of work of this dwelling. The alterations are: 1, as per page 2 of the presentation, they would like to excavate underneath the rear porch, right? This porch is already constructed. The massing of the porch is already approved. Because we're excavating, it triggers new setbacks, triggers new building depth, and new rear setbacks, as this is now a habitable space. In addition, we are proposing of constructing a flat roof above the rear porch in the back, as seen in page 3 and page 4 of our presentation. And the only other change has to do with us enlarging the front steps in the front covered porch of our property, which triggers, of course, another variance. I just want to make known that we're not pursuing an alteration to the massing of the main dwelling. The exterior walls are already constructed as per what has been approved. And I do believe, in review of the letters of concern from the neighbors, they believe that perhaps the rear wall would be constructed where the new rear setback is proposed to be. But that is most certainly not the case. As per page 8 of the presentation our firm has put together, we are pursuing a rear yard setback. As mentioned, is 9.03 meters is the proposed rear setback. The minimum is 11.43 meters. You can see that in the horizontal dash line that is in close proximity to the outline of the proposed structure. As mentioned previously, we had already built the porch as in right of previous building permit. We're simply excavating underneath. Due to the height of the excavation of the covered porch, our setback is now taken to the already existing rear wall. Page number 7 of our presentation, if you don't mind scrolling to that, discusses, of course, the variance associated with our building length. It is to be known that the building length of our dwelling is actually only measured to be 15.59 meters. And the length is now taken to the most rear wall of the foundation of the covered porch. It's important to know that we are not pursuing any building depth variances here, strictly a building length variance. Variance number 4 that talks about encroachments and heights of the rear porch. If you looked at page 6 of our presentation, I do apologize, I know we're going backwards in the presentation. Our encroachment is measured to be 2.51 meters from the rear main wall. What's allowed is 2.50. Because of this addition 0.01 meters, this additional centimeter that was already constructed, of course, because the footprint of the rear porch was as of right in the beginning, we were triggering another variance as well. I want to make known that the front steps variance, which we are pursuing here, where the width is equated to be 3.64 meters. Yes, the allowed width of front steps is only 2 meters, and we're requesting an enlargement of 1.64. But from a massing standpoint, because of the address wall that's located in front of the enlarged front steps, about 3/4 of that enlarged step width is actually hidden from any observation from the street. So again, I do believe that these variances are minor because we're simply excavating underneath the rear porch and adding the rear roof. A lot more technical variances are being triggered because the definition of how our massing is being read is now changed. I am aware that certain neighbors will be speaking in person and virtually, and I'm more than happy to address any concerns that they most certainly may have. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Mr. O'Rourke. Can you tell us, is there any construction underway with respect to these variances, or are you awaiting a decision?
I believe we're waiting for a decision, yes. There were some as-built photos that were sent to the Application Information Center that showcase the extent of the current construction.
Okay, thank you. Panel, any other questions before we proceed?
Sure, I have one question. Yep. Can you kindly maybe enlighten me on why the canopy extends beyond the platform, other than the obvious, perhaps, some protection from rain, but why is it extending 1.02 beyond the platform?
As you can see, yeah, great question. As you can see within the diagram that's currently shown on the screen, you can see that dashed line indicates the footprint of the enlarged canopy. It's pretty much just to provide a coverage for that protruding staircase as they navigate downwards, right? There is a below grade entrance underneath this porch that provides access to the basement. So being able to traverse from your first floor outwards while being protected from the elements down your staircase into your rear terrace below is something that is just desirable by the homeowners. So it's really just to provide additional coverage for the use of that projecting stairs on the left.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay, so now we'll hear from the interested neighbors. And we'll start with the registered speaker that I have on my list, which is Howard Yee from 6 Old Oak Road. Mr. Yee, are you listening?
Yes.
Okay. And you, I'm going to ask you to repeat your name and address, but you live directly behind 4675 Dundas Street on Old Oak Road, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. So if you can just repeat your name and your address again, and then speak to us.
Okay. Hi, my name is Howard Yee, and we are the owners and residents of 6 Old Oak Road, which is right behind the applicant's property. Our main objection to the application is the encroachment requested for the rear of the house, which is items 1, 4, and 6 looking at the application. So it seemed like the constructor previously obtained an approved rear setback of 9.03 meters instead of the minimum 11.43 by virtue of having a 2.5 meter platform extending from the main house to the back property line. This requested platform is now also going to be 3.09 meter high, which is higher than the 1.2 meter normally allowed for a platform. They also request a canopy, or what they call a canopy, on top of the platform to make sort of a covered porch. And this canopy into a further 1.02 meter from the platform to the back. And if you look at the new drawing, you find that the left and right side of the porch, which is constructed, originally was designed as a mid-height wood slate privacy fence, are now being built as solid walls. And the left side wall, the stair side, also intrude beyond the platform, which is another sort of 0.9 or 1.02 meter, making the canopy a setback of 8 meter. So we are close to these updates. And I first will talk about the porch and then about some question about the platform itself. The canopy extends about a meter beyond the originally already extended boundary of the platform, and which make the rear setback effectively 8 meters. The canopy is already built, it's massive, and it looks like a roof or a floor. By looking at it, it has a thickness of over 14 inch, or by the drawing, and a visual inspection see that it's constructed like a floor or a roof with 9, 10-inch joists. The sidewall of the updated drawing, which is built also, appeared to be at least 6 inch in thickness, was framed with 2x6 lumber, and it will have a 2-inch stucco finish. Most importantly, the finish is identical to the house. So when you look from the side, you see the house actually just continue, the first floor just continue to extend 2.5 meters out from the main house. You cannot tell that that's a porch. And so the question to consider is, what is precise distinction between a porch and part of the house? And for example, if this porch, so-called porch, you put let's say you make it a quote unquote an enclosed porch by putting some glass in the back, and then what you have is the massing would look identical to having a 2.5 or 3 meter extension from the house to the back. And the other question that I have is the platform itself. What is the precise definition for platform in the bylaw? The platform intrudes 2.5 meters into the minimum setback by being attached to the house. But if you look at the platform, it is actually the top of a walk-in basement. And so that means that walk-in basement is actually intrude 2.5 meters into the back. And in fact, it is a basement. It has a bathroom within that platform area underneath the porch. You can look at the drawing. And it's not a deck or a patio. And I think that's why they require a 3 meter height for it, because it's actually part of the house. So you look at the massing of the back of the house.
Mr. Yee, you have 30 seconds to wrap up.
Okay. That, it is really close to the boundary. So from our backyard is a very tall and massive and imposing structure. And I agree with the neighbors' letters, which say this is so close to the back, more than any other house in the neighborhood, is not within the characteristic of the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you. Panel, any questions or comments from Mr. Yee? No? Okay, we'll invite the two gentlemen. Only one of you is speaking, correct? Okay, if you could introduce yourself. Could you turn the microphone pointing to your mouth? Yeah.
Sorry. I'm a friend of Mr. Alan Yong, who live at 4677 Dundas Street West. My name is Cho Ngai, Ngai.
And you're speaking for him?
Yes, I'm doing his translation, yes.
Okay, go ahead then.
Okay.
He said that good morning, Chairman and committee members. Because we heard the agent mention that he has sent in the pictures of the as-built building. He said that is the subject property, the deck and whatnot has not been built yet and waiting for the variance. But according to the picture that Mr. Lee has submitted, it seems to be the structure has built. May we see the picture of the agents that has submitted as for the construction right now? This is the one from the agent?
Yeah.
Okay, so he said that it's not built, but it's built already, right?
Go, come on, don't listen.
He can address that when he speaks.
Okay, so because for the item number 1 and number 2, Mr. Yong want to ask the new building currently under construction will be located 9.03 from the rear, and the minimum requirement from the setback is 11.43. So in that case, based on this drawing, Mr. Yong would like to know, is that further back of the deck would be built into the backyard or not? That's just one of the questions. The other thing is item number 2 will be the same thing, because it says that new building currently under construction will have a length of 18.1 meter. Based on the drawing Mr. Yong has seen, he mentioned that according to his observation, because it's next door labor, it's more or less the whole deck is already built, the canopy already built, it's already constructed, not as it is stated to be built after he get the variance. So it's something that I would like the committee to consider, whether it's before or the after situation. 問咗佢都啦，咁你仲有啲咩問題？講咗啦。
睇佢需唔需要提？佢需唔需要提？
唔使啊，唔提嘅。
問佢，你可以問佢。
That's the existing photos that Mr. Yong has. Do you committee members, the chairman, would like to see it, or?
You can't introduce any images that aren't already filed with us.
Okay.
No.
The other thing that Mr. Yong mentioned is that the same thing like Mr. Lee, he agreed with Mr. Lee's presentation because now item number 4, the deck's height would be 3.03 meter above the rear FH grade. It's a huge, like over 10 feet tall, like an interior, just like interior space, not like an open deck situation. So he wholeheartedly agreed with Mr. Lee's presentation there. 仲有啲乜嘢？好唔好啊？講完啦。Okay, this is what Mr. Yong would like the committee member and Mr. Chairman to consider. The situation is already built, not to be approved by the committee to have the variance. And this is all he want to highlight. And of course, he has sent in a letter already, an email to your members and saying his concerns. And would like you to consider, because of the massive build at the back, is affecting his enjoyment of his own property and his real estate value in the future.
Okay, you have 30 seconds to wrap up.
Yeah, we wrap up already. Thank you very much,
Okay,
Mr.
great.
Chairman.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Randy.
Panel, any questions for the gentleman? Comments?
Chair, I had one question.
Yes.
Is part of the concern that perhaps the platform may be enclosed in some way? Is that part of the concern?
佢有意思問啊，係咪驚佢第日封咗佢啊？
而家其實係好大嘅鋪。
Either at grade level at the garage or at the first level. Is there some concern? Because when I was listening to the other speaker, I get the sense that there's some hesitancy on the part of the neighbors that these platforms are not balconies, are not going to be open, that they may be enclosed. Is that a concern?
That is a concern too, Mr. Yong has mentioned. Also that at the top of the canopy, it could be another balcony because it's so massive over there and so massively built. It could be another structure that can hold up people and people can have a balcony or terrace.
Okay, I got the sense from that from the previous speaker as well, when he spoke about the depth of the floor. So that's partly the concern also of the canopy that extends out about a meter, is the possibility that that roof may also become a deck area. Yeah. So
this is
we'll
also
see
the
if,
concern.
we'll see
Yes.
if the agent can answer that question for us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything else, panel? Okay, then, Mr. Overholt, you can sit down, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Mr. Overholt, you have 5 minutes to rebut the comments that you've just heard.
Well, yeah, most certainly, and I'm not necessarily going to rebut. First of all, I just want to apologize to the Mr. Chair and board members and neighbors. I didn't review those photos in depth. It does appear that the rear canopy is indeed constructed. This wasn't known to me during this application process, and I do apologize for misleading anyone. Whatever occurs moving forward, that's going to have to be dealt with the homeowners most certainly. Now, regarding this depth and this rear setback of the front porch, which of course individuals in the surrounding area have concerns about. Now, in theory, if we were not to excavate, we're not to build a canopy, simply to build privacy walls, the massing would be a little similar to what we see now in this proposal, right? If there are concerns about us building addition on top of this roof or enclosing this rear area, we're more than happy to tie ourselves to site plan and floor plans as well as rear elevations. We want to ensure that we do not plan to move forward in making any additional changes to what you see here, right? We strictly want to excavate underneath the rear porch. We want to be able to cover the rear porch as well. That's strictly our goal here. Again, I do apologize for misleading anyone. It was certainly not my intention. Thank you.
Thank you. Any final questions for Mr.
Sure.
Overholt?
May I ask a following question? So there's no intent, perhaps you can tell us publicly, so it goes on the record, there's no intent to use that canopy for, or that roof of that canopy to create an additional platform sitting area, correct?
I'm just pulling up the drawings right now to confirm there's nothing proposed for the second floor. Now, in theory, if there was, right, it would be about
I don't want to speculate that. I don't want to speculate that. But as far as the plans are concerned, that is just a roof. It's not going to be a future deck, sitting area, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Nope.
Yeah, just because a couple of the people in opposition have raised, that you have examples within the area of a similar rear yard that you're requesting?
I most certainly may. Just 1 second. I'm just going through the presentation. It looks like I do not have any supporting material at the moment that indicates any previous approvals in the area. I do apologize.
Thank you.
Okay, I think it's time to go into committee for comments or discussion or a motion. Mr. Gully?
So Chairman, unless there's any discussion, I am prepared to make a motion.
Yeah.
Chair, I've carefully reviewed this application and the variances that are being requested. And I believe, just very briefly, variance number one, the rear yard setback at 9.03, given the fact that it incorporates something underground as well, I don't think that's an egregious request. I believe it's desirable and it's appropriate. With respect to the length of the building, again, on this slide, on this section of Dundas Street, going from 17 to 18.1, I don't believe it's an issue either. With respect to the exterior steps, going from 2 meters to 3.64, I don't believe that that's an issue either. I believe that it's a minor, as is the height of the average rear average grade at 3.09. To me, again, that's not an issue. With respect to the deck in the rear and with respect to the canopy, again, there are questions that create some anxiety with the neighbors, and rightly so. They want to protect the neighborhood that they live in, particularly if they're adjacent to this property. But I think there's sufficient there for me to be able to positively respond to this request. I believe that it's an honest effort, a planning effort to construct something with some minor changes that, in my view, are indeed minor. They meet the 4 tests. So I'm prepared to move approval to the application. And if the secretary could assist me, subject to rear elevation or rear facade or side plan itself to be in accordance with the plans that were submitted with this application. Can it be tied to rear elevations or facade or the plans that were before us today? In addition to that, urban forestry condition number 1 and 2. So I want to tie it to plans that were submitted. I want to make it conditional to plans that were submitted today. I don't know if it's necessary to specify rear elevation or rear facade, plus the UFC 1 and 2.
What is it you're trying to capture in the elevation?
I'm trying to capture the fact that those platforms and even the basement level are not going to be enclosed, that they are indeed open. So the platform above the basement is just a roof. The platform above the basement is a roof, and the canopy above the platform is just a roof, and that they're not going to be enclosed.
So tied to the elevations as it relates to the proposed platforms?
Perhaps not. I'll be specific. I think they should be tied to the plans that were that accompanied this application today, and specifically with respect to the rear wall elevations, facade, as they relate to the platforms.
So why don't we do all of the plans? Because
Sure.
that will show on the floor plans as well.
And I think that's fair. I think the applicant will understand that it's fair to tie it to the plans, because that's what we're basing our decision on.
Now, do you want the added wording as it relates to the rear platform, or yes?
I think I like that specified.
Okay.
And Chair, and that the second condition was urban forestry conditions 1 and 2. That's my motion.
Okay, thank you. So we have a motion tabled by Mr. Gully. Is there a seconder?
I'll second that.
Mr. Dalton, thank you. All in favor? That's approved unanimously. Thanks to everyone for their participation. Can now move to item 760 Cannon Road. Purpose is to permit a parking pad in the front yard. It will be for 2 parking spaces. We have Urban Forestry requested refusal, and then in a supplementary freestanding memo, they provide an alternative, being their conditions 2 and 3. This is a revised application. There's 1 variance. Planning has recommended refusal, and we have 4 letters of opposition. And we have the agent with us, Addison Milne Pierce. Afternoon, good morning, Mr. Milne Pierce.
Good morning, Mr. Chair.
If you could please present, and I guess obviously focus on the letters of opposition and the planning report.
Yeah, of course. I'm happy to do that. Just real quick, for the record, my place of address, I'm employed at Design Plan Services, located at 87 Skyway Avenue, Suite 200. So, Mr. Chair, you're correct that this is now a revised proposal. There's only 1 variance that's in front of the committee, just pertaining to the front yard parking spaces. So I'm aware that planning staff issued a memo recommending refusal, as well as Urban Forestry. I respect planning staff's position, but I'll point out that it was made with respect to our original proposal, and of course they haven't had time to review the revised proposal, but I do believe that it manages to address their key concerns that they pointed out. Mostly what I'd like to point out is this revised proposal is fully compliant with all landscape requirements. And in my view, I think it's actually a net positive planning outcome compared to, say, an as-of-right driveway and parking space in the rear yard, because we can preserve a much larger green space in the rear. But if staff could just move to the next slide there. I just want to go through my reasoning for this variance. I just would want to clarify very quickly that this application, it's not seeking permission for a multiplex or a garden suite. You'll see that the site plan does include both of those structures, and both of those structures are permitted as of right. I noticed several of the objection letters did mention the multiplex and garden suite, and just want to make sure that we're clear. We're only here to discuss that front yard parking space. In fact, you can see that, on that photo on the right, the multiplex is actually already constructed as an as-of-right construction. And in terms of the general neighborhood along Cannon Road, there already are quite a few multiplexes. You can see in that photo to the left, particularly along the right side of that photo, there's quite a few multiplexes. For the most part, those multiplexes all have parking in the rear yard, leaving essentially no green space in that rear yard. If we just go to the next slide, I have a slide that compares the 2 site plans and shows our current site plan. In terms of this proposal that's in front of you now, this revised plan does have a significant amount of landscaping compared to the original proposal, but also compared to what's required in the zoning bylaw. I'll point out that the requirement for rear yard soft landscaping is 50%. And there is over 50% that's provided right now in that rear yard, which also allows us to retain the boundary tree that's on that east side of the lot. Something else to consider, that there is, I think, a general positive aspect to this application. Because by providing parking, even though parking is not required by the bylaw, it's possible that some of the residents in the building will use the space, or even a visitor of the residents. This property is located quite close to the Queensway and the bus transit system along there, so it's definitely possible to live in this building without a car. But I think the reality of living in this neighborhood is that at least a visitor might come to this multiplex, and by providing a front yard parking space, it means that there won't be cars that are clogging up the street and parking on the street. If I could just ask staff to go to the next slide, though, I want to point out that front yard parking that does not lead to a garage, it's actually very common in this neighborhood and along Cannon Road. You don't have to look farther than sort of right across the street or just along either side to see a driveway of this size and of this nature would fit seamlessly into the neighborhood context. So just in summary, this driveway, it's compliant with all landscape requirements. It would result in a total net increase in contiguous soft landscaping compared to what the bylaw requires as a minimum by trading that larger rear yard green space for two small front yard parking pads. And it also addresses the practical reality of living in this neighborhood to ensure cars stay off Cannon Road. And this configuration is also common on the street. I'll just mention too, with respect to the urban forestry requirement, this parking pad would not require the removal of any protected bylaw trees. Their objection was in relation to our previous proposal, which I think in fairness would have limited the potential for a front yard street tree. This revised proposal, I think, provides a significant amount of space for that in that front yard. And that concludes my presentation.
Okay, thanks. So would you be okay with urban forestry conditions 2 and 3 as they've requested?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I just wanted to understand that. Panel, any questions for Mr. Milne-Pierce? Comments? No? Oh.
Can you confirm that planning has not seen this?
So through you, Mr. Chair, I can confirm planning staff, they haven't had time to review.
Okay.
I will say that planning staff did reach out to us and we discussed what a possible solution would be. And that is what resulted in the current proposal in front of you. It's just in fairness to them, they haven't had time to fully review. It takes them a few weeks to go through their full process. So I just don't want to put words in their mouth.
Thank you.
So to confirm, though, the plan that you want approved is the one date stamped October 3rd, correct?
Through you, Mr. Chair, that's correct.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Pardon?
It's just we have two versions of the plan on the file, so.
Adam, are there any other participants that wish to speak to this item?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So let's go into committee then for a motion or discussion.
I'll go for it. I move a motion for approval for the application as amended, as I believe it does meet the 4 tests, and I'm going to tie it to the forestry conditions, and I'm going to ask Barb if we can then also tie it to the site plan that is date stamped October 3rd, 2025 at 10:04 a.m.
Thank you, Mr. Dalton. Is there a seconder for Mr. Dalton?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Gully. All in favor? That's approved unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Milne-Pierce. Now consider item 8, 333 Melrose Street. Purpose is to permit a front yard parking pad. There are 3 variances. We have urban forestry requesting refusal, and then in a freestanding memo on September 25th, they offer their condition 1 as an alternative. There's a Metrolinx advisory, and we have 2 letters of opposition. Is there anyone, Adam, in the room or at home that wishes to speak to this?
Not except the owner.
Okay, so we would have to rely on our review and consideration of those letters, which of course we will do. Panel, is there any need in your mind for a presentation? Is this straightforward in our mind? Ms. Alderson?
I just want to clarify that
Okay, you can ask a question, but if we can just dispense with that, you'll have your chance to ask a question. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't we invite Mr. Stephen New.
Good morning.
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 So you're the homeowner.
Yes.
Could you give us your name and address? Just for the
Stephen
record?
New, 333 Melrose Street.
Okay, so we've just determined that in our minds, this is very straightforward. We definitely have a question. We may have more. But are you okay with proceeding on the basis of answering our questions as opposed to you presenting to us? Or you can speak to us if you wish.
No, I can answer
Just saying
questions.
straightforward.
Yep.
Don't think we need to hear anything, but
Yeah, I'll be here to answer questions if needed.
okay, let's do that then.
Okay.
Good. So, Ms. Alderson, you have a
I
question?
just wanted to clarify, you're asking for permission to have a front yard parking pad, but it looks like you have 2 front yard parking pads.
No, you just have one.
It's pretty big.
It looks as though it goes right down the side of the house, but it actually narrows, so you can only use the front part to park one vehicle.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting, there's very small, a bit of soft landscaping in the front yard. But I'm looking, it looks like a double parking.
No,
front.
the parking spot is actually going to be near the house. The one that's shown towards the street is just like I'll need to access. That's the way that I was told to put it. It's not going to be like paved or anything like that. That's just the way I'm going to have to come in to access the parking spot.
Okay. So you're saying to me that there's only one parking spot there now, and you want to add to that?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
You okay?
Yep.
Panel, any other questions or comments?
Yeah, so on the existing driveway, which is shown on the survey, which was up, how many cars is that able to hold?
One.
Just one?
Yes.
So then on the survey, there's also, so what you're proposing is moving the driveway from where it is now in the hatched area and then adding the proposed parking space?
No, keep the existing space as it is and add the extra one to the left.
Okay.
Can you just address to the committee, and I'm not sure if the photos can be shared, because there's a tree where you're proposing that parking space, and forestry is objecting to your variances.
Yeah, that's on the property line between the 2 properties, which won't interfere with where I'm going to be parked. Just to clarify as well, that we will be maintaining the sufficient soft furnishings. There's no construction work to be carried out whatsoever. So there'll be no harm to the tree whatsoever in any shape or form.
Well, the reason they're saying there's harm is because you're going to be parking on its roots, so that damages the tree in itself. Right?
I don't understand how I'll be parking on the roots.
So your parking pad is being proposed right adjacent to that significant tree. So once you're parking there,
the parking is just going to be a form of gravel, so I can keep the drainage. There's no digging. There's no construction.
No, that's not the issue. It's you're actually going to be, the car or vehicle will be standing in that space, which is putting pressure on the roots. That's what's going to damage the... Anyway, forestry has said they're objecting. I don't know that they're going to issue...
I mean, if that would be the case, it'd be the same for next door. Because they park, so they'd be parking on the routes as well.
You're talking about next door being 331? 331?
No, 335. Because that tree is between 2 properties.
It's between the 2 properties.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Any other questions or comments for Mr. Nick?
Yeah, so do you have any other examples of similar variances for the landscape reduction in the area that you're seeking? Because it's significant.
What do you mean by like reductions?
Well, other examples along Melrose or neighboring streets that have sought a significant landscape reduction to provide for a parking space.
There's quite a few properties. I don't have evidence on me. There is quite a few properties on the street that have had the front of the properties removed and converted to driveways. They've had asphalt put down. They don't have the soft furnishings, which is required by bylaw, which I'm wanting to keep, obviously. As I stated before, there's going to be no construction, no asphalt, no digging. I want to keep it so I still maintain drainage for the front of my premises. Just looking for somewhere off street to park my vehicle.
So what's the problem then with on-street parking? Are you not able to get another?
It's a time limit. You're only allowed 3 hour parking. It's not classed. There's not classed as permit parking. If we have to park around a side street with a vehicle out of view of the house, we've had our vehicle vandalised. We've had our tyres slashed, mirrors damaged, paintwork scratched. So I really want to keep an eye on a vehicle.
So what are you then proposing for the actual pad? Are you just going to keep it as dirt? Or are you going to have unit pavers? Or?
I'm just going to have crushed gravel put down, so it still maintains drainage, but it'll still have like a hardish surface to maintain the weight of the vehicle.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Can you please hold on a second? I've lost my item here. I'm trying to get back to. Sorry, Chair. It's off.
I just wanted to comment. I think we had from what I remember, we had a comment from the neighbor suggesting that you were going to be parking 2 trucks on the front yard, not 2 cars, that these were large vehicles, and there was some issue with that. You want to address that?
Well, as you can see, one of the vehicles parked on the driveway in the picture is a truck, and the other vehicle is the same size, but it's within the allocation that I've asked for the parking spot. It fits in that spot.
All right. But they're fairly large vehicles that you're parking on the front yard, both of them.
Yes, it's
Okay.
larger than your standard car, yes.
Yeah, larger than a standard car, okay.
Are you all sorted, Mr. Gully?
Thank you, Chair. May I ask a question?
Yes.
I know you're applying for that front yard parking. Now, in the application, it indicates that at least 22% of the front yard will be maintained as landscape, right? Some green space. Is that correct?
The whole front yard will be the same.
Yeah.
I only want to put gravel down.
You're only graveling, like crushed stone?
Yes. Yes, I'm not going to put pavers. There's no asphalt.
Okay.
There's, like I say, I just want a semi-hard surface and to maintain the soft furnishings. Well, once the crushed gravel's
permeable though, water would get
yes,
get through
yes,
it, right?
there'll still be drainage.
Okay. And the driveway itself is used for
one vehicle.
For one vehicle.
Yes.
Okay. So that would be used by a visitor then, if they're coming in? The
Visitors will just
spot?
be on the street. Because, like I say, we only have a 3 hour
But yeah,
parking
it's
limit on the
3 hour
street.
there and there's no overnight parking. And it's
No, in the opposite side of the street is no parking.
Yeah.
No, it's for his second vehicle, he said, right?
Yeah. Oh. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, panel? No speakers?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So let's go into committee for discussion and a motion.
Just wanted to ask the other members, as well as staff, I don't think I got a report from transportation on this. Is that
No.
correct? There was no submission from transportation
And nothing from planning.
and nothing for planning. So them not reporting then means that they have nothing to report on. Thank you.
So if there's no other comments, can we have a motion?
Sorry, and one other thing, with respect to forestry then, did any of the panel members pick up anything specific that forestry was objecting to?
I thought they had expressed concerns about the roots of that tree. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, they've given their condition 1 for that
Yeah,
presumably
we're number 1.
city-owned tree.
Yeah.
Freeman Maple.
So are we all okay with just applying condition 1 then?
Yeah.
Because right now, they're basically saying refuse, right?
Refuse, and then they say, however, if the committee decides to approve it, they would request their condition 1.
Okay, thank you. So Chair, I'm prepared to make a motion on this. In view of the fact that we haven't received anything contrary from Transportation Services, we haven't received anything contrary from City Planning, we have received a report from Forestry, Urban Forestry. I believe that this is a fair request in this particular area of Etobicoke. I'm going to move that the 3 variances be authorized as subject to Urban Forestry condition number 1.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gully. Is there a seconder for Mr. Gully's motion? No, there isn't. That motion fails. May we have another motion?
In the alternative, I'd like to approve it, but my concern with approving it is the lack of landscaping and setting a precedent in the area. So on that basis, and given that we don't have the evidence before us, I'd like to move a motion for refusal.
Thank you, Mr. Dalton. Is there a seconder for Mr. Dalton?
I just want to add that had you not been trying to fit 2 large vehicles on that front yard, I would probably be more sympathetic, but I'm going to second Bill's motion.
Okay, so we have a motion duly seconded. All in favor? And 1 opposed. So the application is refused by a vote of 4 to 1.
Okay.
Moving on to item 9, 115 Lakeshore Drive. Application is to expand and to cover the existing 2nd-story rear balcony. There is 1 variance requesting that the permitted area of the platform be 24.14 meters squared, as opposed to what the bylaw requires, which is 4 meters squared. The only agency comment we have is from TRCA. They're okay with it. They've pointed out that a permit is required. Don't have anything else on file. Panel, do we need a presentation on this? We're good to proceed without a presentation? Okay, can we ask for Mr. Vaganov?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. My name is Nikolai Vaganov, representing the owners of 115 Lakeshore Drive.
And what's your address, sir?
So our application is regarding the...
What's your address, sir?
Sorry?
What is your address? Your company address?
Oh, company address is 17 Georges Drive, Toronto.
Okay. That's near Humbertown? Shopping center? Can you hear me, sir? Okay, do we need to skip this? He's not responding.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I think I have connection issues. I hope you can hear me well. Oh.
I can't hear you.
Sir, you're having connection issues. Can you please try exiting the meeting?
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, we only have. Oh.
Sorry, Nikolai. The connection is kind of untenable at the minute. If you can just try exiting the meeting and rejoining, or alternatively trying to join the meeting through the teleconference instructions that were sent to you yesterday. Maybe we'll, Mr. Chair, we'll hold this one down and
Let's move on. Yeah, if he gets his technology sorted out, we'll proceed with it.
should we try one more? Nikolai, can you hear me?
I think it's going on. Yeah, I can hear you. I hope you can hear me too.
You either have to exit and join again or call in. We can't hear you clearly enough to proceed.
Nikolai, we're gonna hold this one down while you resolve I guess connection issues on your end.
To make it better, I'm still here.
But we still can't hear you, so it's not entirely better. So we're gonna hold this one down. We're gonna come back to you, okay? Maybe try calling in. Sounds good. Okay.
So we're going to move on to item 1052 Savona Drive. Purpose is to construct a new detached garage, the garden suite above. There are 2 variances. We have 9 letters of opposition. We have the agent and 3 registered speakers. We have an MTO advisory. There was a previous decision on this property, August 14th, which was an approval of various variances. However, we did refuse 2 of the variances related to the garden suite. So yeah, I think we need to hear from the agent on this one, Mr. Wilson. I think if you could clearly explain the difference between what we approved in August and what you're proposing today, and why you believe it's an acceptable application. Mr. Wilson?
Morning, committee members, Mr. Chairman. My name is Scott Wilson of Forest Studio. That's at 4 Sunset in Etobicoke. I am the agent for the owners of 52 Savona. The property is a corner lot located at the northeast corner of Savona Drive and Rufford Road. The property is currently developed with a single-family home along the Savona frontage, with an existing garage structure located in the rear of the property, with driveway access from Rufford Road. The immediate area is eclectic in nature, with many newly renovated homes, and in this particular circumstance, the home immediately east is comprised of a home located on its easterly portion, with a driveway leading to a garage structure, which is virtually on the lot line adjacent to the existing garage on the subject property. In essence, the adjacent garage on the property to the east acts as the buffer between the garage on the subject property and the backyard area of the property to the east. The property is an area designated by neighborhood, specifically promoted and approved by both the province of Ontario and the city of Toronto in the exact manner as being proposed to provide additional residences in form of garden suites. The originating application, which proceeded to Committee of Adjustment, sought for 4 variances to develop the new garden suite. At that meeting, the committee acknowledged the importance of dwelling houses, but had concerns related to the adjacency to the neighbors. Instead of appealing the decision, we have redesigned on concerns from the committee and neighbors, eliminating the 2 variances related to the abutting properties. As a result, the only 2 variances relating to the redesigned garden suite are entirely related to the impact on the existing home on the subject property. Both remaining 2 variances relate to the reduction of the setback between the garden suite building and the existing house, which from all exterior properties will result in no external built form impacts whatsoever. The garden suite has a practical roof design that provides usable internal space with setbacks of 5.35 meters from the existing home at a height of 5.99 meters, which is not dissimilar to the setbacks of the existing garage to the existing home, and as such fits well within the historical building to building setbacks on the property. The other variance relates to the inclusion of a parking space, which again is a current characteristic of the property, which parking space is set back 4.57 meters from the Rufford Road side, providing ample space to access and egress from the proposed parking space in an identical manner to the way in which current parking space functions. So in a recap, we're keeping the east side neighbor buffer with its existing garage that's on the lot line. The previous application had 4 variances for the garden suite, and it was using existing siting. There was concerns with the adjacent properties. We decided to redesign, revise, and reduce the garden suite to minimize the impact to the adjacent properties. We're now seeking 2 variances entirely related with impact to the existing home on the subject property. We've maintained the previous design of the additional parking on site, 4 spots, which was a neighborhood concern. We've lowered and reduced the size of the north window for the neighbor's concern. And we believe that these 2 variances that we are seeking are proposed, separate and together satisfy the 4 tests and should be seen as minor in nature. Thank you, committee.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Panel, any questions or comments for Mr. Wilson? Mr. Gully?
Chair, I do have a question of Mr. Wilson. So what you're telling us, I served on that panel. We directed you to try to locate the secondary suite in such a way that it would not have more of an impact. I'm not going to say excessive, but more of an impact on the neighbors. And the result of that is that instead of 4 variances, you've come back with 2. And those 2 variances now provide for a better separation on the west side lot line. And you've also addressed the issue of height. The new garden suite will have a height of 5.99 and will be located 5.35 meters from the residential building on the same lot. So you've addressed the issue of separation and you've also addressed the issue of height. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? No? Okay. So I have 3 registered speakers.
Actually,
in person?
4. There's one that's not on your list, but we have 4 registered speakers, 3 in chambers.
And 1 virtual.
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so let's invite firstly Catherine Udasco.
Hello?
Yep, hello.
Good morning, members of the committee. My name is Catherine Udasco, POA, representing my parents, Lilibeth and Glyceria Udasco, owners of 50 Savona Drive, just east of the property.
Okay.
I just want to start by saying, I sent in the letter. This is our 3rd time coming here to the Committee of Adjustments. The first time the application was deferred by the request of the COA. They declined it. Don't think there was a deferral fee charge there. Doesn't matter. We got rescheduled, came back for our second time. So now the 3rd time, if I could just quote from the COA's hearing The last time we were here, specifically, just the way everything was handled, I remember there were 6 variances. It's either you decline the whole application, but at that time, chose to go forward with, hey, let's approve 2, we're gonna decline 4, come back, do a brand new application. Not common practice, but that's what happened, right? Sure. So they've come back, and some of the quotes regarding those variances stated that, as of right, make it within the footprint as permitted per the city, the size, scale, and look. Build it without the variances. That was from the COA coming back. And when we look at this application, I don't know the full intent of it. Is it just because the main building was already approved, so now we just need to address this garden suite and this garage build without fully understanding all the changes that are going to happen at 52 Savona? I still object to the previous application regarding the current front of the building, which will now be moved off of Savona onto Rufford, changing the line of sight and the dynamic of the street and the other houses, not complementary to one another. I understand that there's changes and improvements that need to be made in Alderwood, but I believe that it doesn't meet the 4 points. And we're coming back here again to discuss 2 of the variants. So either make it within what was discussed or have this conversation. So that's all I wanted to say. Sorry about my tone in any way, but I hope you can understand. 3rd time, I have to take work off just to be here, right? And I come in person, showing my face to the committee. So I hope you can understand that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Udasco. Next up, we have Emily Nudga.
Good afternoon. My name is Emily Nudja, 5 Rufford Road. So I would like to point it out that 52 Savona Drive is located on the corner road. Both garage and the garden suite access will be from the Rufford Road. 25 neighbors signed the petition to reject this project. I believe you have this on file. Please see Exhibit 4. According to by law, 6 meters distance supposed to be for a garage and for garden suite from the property line. They have 4.5 meters. That's a 25% reduction. 4.5 meters clearance is insufficient for a safe use of garage. The average car, approximately 4.5 meters, is like 1 meter wider than its proposed clearance. This blocks sidewalk at least 0.5 meters. If the sidewalk is blocked, it's a significant safety hazard for pedestrians, seniors, walkers, wheelchair, parents, strollers. Snow plow removal would not be able to clean the sidewalk. Risk of slip and fall. And even car accidentally can pull in a driveway and it just booms, injury. This easily can relate whatever happened now in a Royal York Station when 78 years old woman been actually killed by the bus. The most of our residents is seniors and deserves a literally safe and accessible environment. And as all homes on a Rufford Road located 5 to 9 meters away from the sidewalk. This proposed variance is going to block literally 50% of the sidewalk visibility from our driveways. And on top of that, that's 50% destroy visibility and symmetry of the street. It just booms on the middle 2-story building. Variance 2, I would like to see Exhibit 1. So minimum requirement separation is 7.5 meters between the buildings and the garage garden suite. The proposed is 5.3 meters, 32% reduction. The gentleman and the committee mentioned that he improved the separation. No, on the previous hearing, we had the separation 6.2 meters. Now we have 5.3. Is a 1 meter closer now garden suite to the property. To better visualize all this extreme close proximity, I combined 2 pages showing the west elevation of the both main building and the garden suite. The main building has a patio extending 3 meters towards the garden suite. Garden suite has a 1 meter extent towards the main building. On both, they have a canopy, the same huge concrete canopy. Taking this in consideration, they have only 1.3 meters of salt landscaping divided between these two structures. It's completely insufficient. Is not good for privacy, safety, fire safety, noise reduction, green buffer, completely non-exist between the building. In addition, vertical distance between canopy of the garden suite and a canopy of the main building is literally, the vertical distance is 1.5 meters. So the climb 1.5 meters up, 1.3 meters across, is just any fit person can do it. So it's a safety, privacy, the potential housebreaking that is so close to each other. So on the top of that, Exhibit 2A and 2B showing that they have 2 windows on the main building of the bedrooms, and seeing 1 bedroom as a floor-to-ceiling windows on the garage suite. It's just kind of completely close proximity, and from the garage suite, you can see literally bedrooms on the both buildings. It's separation, privacy, security. That is so big issue. Walkway on the garden suite cannot be obstructed whatsoever. On the Exhibit 4, the developer mentioned that he's gonna...
Ma'am, you have 30 seconds to wrap up.
So, and another thing is just everything gonna be in the cement. 50% of the yard supposed to be on a soft landscaping. They have now, at the present time, they acknowledge they have at 30%. If they removed these parking lots for a bicycle to the soft yard, it's going to be 20% of the soft landscaping. This every single massive amount of water from the storm water will go in towards my property.
Sorry, can you just pause for a second?
Yes.
Your time is up.
My time is up, and we third time here, and this developer making even worse than before. Okay. Our property is overwhelmed. Our sewage system gonna be overwhelmed from this amount of cement he gonna put on the property. Our own home is gonna be literally flooded. Our basement is gonna be flooded because in our neighborhood, our stormwater is going to the sewage system, joined together, and that property drained to my property.
We don't deal with drainage issues.
No, I know you don't drain, but you are going to approve this enormous cement level.
Your time is up. You are finished.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And we'll have a chance for the agent to rebut your comments.
Chair, I do have a question of the speaker.
Okay, sorry, ma'am, there's a question for you.
Yes.
First of all, thank you so much for coming again. I understand.
No, it's frustration. Sorry about it. My voice is just, it's so emotional.
Listen, it's okay. Everyone wants to protect the neighborhood that they're living in. There's no question about it. And I know that this community, Alderwood, is very protective and very proud of the neighborhoods they live in. I'm very familiar with the 4 older municipalities of southern Etobicoke, having worked at this center for some 45 years. But I wanted to sort of come down specifically to the fact that you keep mentioning that you're concerned about safety, you're concerned about security, you're concerned about the sidewalk. I want to understand, by adding this garden suites, which are now permitted in the city, by adding this additional garden suite, how does it compromise safety? How is security compromised? How are views and privacy changed in the same manner that we live now? We live in the city of Toronto, where we have neighbors all around us. And I know we cherish our privacy, and I know that outlook on somebody else's property is important. But I'm still trying to grasp and understand why you feel this is a safety concern, a security concern. I won't talk about the issue of infrastructure with respect to water drainage and grading and stuff like that, because building department would deal with that. But I actually, because of the fact that this is the third time this has come here, I actually went for a second site visit, but this time, rather than doing a windshield survey driving by, I actually parked the car and I walked. And I'm trying to understand what the basis of the community concern is so that I can make a good, knowledgeable judgment and decision on this matter. Please explain to me, what is it that safety security is going to be compromised by adding a secondary unit, a garden suite in our residential lots in Etobicoke, specifically at this site? What is it?
So generally adding garden suite on a big property, you have, if they have a place, no problem, no problem. But in this particular property, okay, if you've been around the property, existing garage is literally 6.1 meter away from the sidewalk, from the line, city line. Existing garage. Now he proposed to put new garage with this garden suite. It's not just we're talking about the garden suite. We're talking about to build new garage, which is completely gonna be so close to the city sidewalk. New garage. We're not talking about the old garage, which is exist and I put second floor as a garden suite. It's completely new structure. This new structure will do all this harm, safety issue, everything, because now car cannot easily to go to the garage, cannot exit garage. You cannot, in this particular drawing, you're not even able to park temporarily on the front of garage because you have 4.5 meters, not like existed now. Existed now garage is a 6 meter to the property line. It's beautiful. Any car can park, you can load, unload your truck, no problem. This we're talking about completely built new structure.
I understand, but you still haven't, other than the fact that you're saying that there may be pedestrian and vehicular.
It's not me, maybe. We have aging population, they walk in non-stop. The school is literally 300 away. Kids with the strollers walking.
How different is this than any other local street in Etobicoke or Toronto or York or Scarborough? How different is it?
Different than we're talking about this particular property.
Yeah.
Okay, this particular property not gonna have enough exit or entrance to the garage. It's not enough, like 4 meters. 4 meters a little bit taller than me. It's not enough space whatsoever for safety.
You understand that if the length of the vehicle cannot be parked without encroaching on the sidewalk, that's an infraction of the law.
Exactly, but they
show.
Sorry, interrupted you.
They're not allowed to park, period. They're not allowed to park. But backing out of a driveway or backing into a driveway, it's the same situation right across. And this is at an intersection of two local roads. It's not like you're coming off Brown's Line. It's a corner location. Usually these corner locations are the best place to incorporate soft intensification to increase housing. But anyway, that's not for me to say.
I would like
issue
to
was
answer
security. No, I asked the questions.
Okay, sure. No, the answer to
I
the...
wanted to understand clearly what your concern was with respect to safety and security.
Okay, safety.
And separation.
Okay, safety. Then if you see on 2 pages a referral when they have a huge wall-to-ceiling windows from the garden suite, you literally go from that window to the canopy and you climb to the building canopy. This is how proximate it's going to be. Concrete canopy from floor to floor. And you climb to that canopy and you have 2 floor-to-ceiling windows, 2 bedrooms on both sides. It's so close proximity. They don't have any enough separation. And also, how they gonna separate? The walk between the both building is literally the walkway. They have 1 meter walkway, which is okay, but they put the 2 bicycle spots on a walkway.
You've answered my
See, yeah, and this is a safety. This is a safety. Is you like easily to go and easily to see, and people gonna feel vulnerable. Literally, who is gonna live on this property? Then you literally see they have both bedrooms.
Okay, ma'am, yeah, we're satisfied you've answered the question. Thank you.
And just small comments for a parking lot. I probably you know then in Etobicoke we're not allowed.
Ma'am, your time is up, okay?
Thank
Please take your seat. We're now going to invite Fred Kurbejevich. I'm sorry about the pronunciation, but
Mr. Chair, Fred is virtual. Do we want to go with the unregistered in-person speaker first, and then
Sure.
we'll go to Fred at the end?
Okay, we'll
so
invite that person up, yep.
we'll call on Patricia McCarthy.
Okay.
Hello, Patricia McCarthy, 2 Pentland Place, Etobicoke. Patricia McCarthy, 2 Pentland Place, Etobicoke, representing Gary Emerita Coram, 59 Savona, across the street from 52 Savona. They and I oppose the garden suite. The garden suite, including variances 5 and 6, was and were rejected at the last hearing, as you, Chairman Taylor, and Ms. Ruddock can attest to. File A017825EYK. Variance 5 is the same and must be denied again. Why are we even here today talking about it?
There are only 2 variances. Well, we're not addressing what was done before.
Okay.
We're addressing 2 variances today.
Okay, fair enough. We ask the committee to please deny construction of the garden suite. The applicant has selfishly taken up valuable committee time of adjustment time and resources. Again, the garden suite was rejected on August 14 by 4 out of 5 committee members. It is shameful that the applicant has forced Catherine Udesco, who spoke on August 14th and again today, as well as other concerned neighbors, to have to take yet another day from work to attend here today. Safety is an issue, corner lot, parking on the street, children walk to school and church, proximity to neighbors, health concern, loss of sunlight for the children next door to the garage. 52 Savona was my family home built by my dad, a wooden garage. It was never a double car garage, and it is not a double car garage today. The back of the garage butts up right to the property line and the chain link fence on the neighboring Udesco property. It does not allow for a construction worker, to walk between the garage and the fence. We are hopeful that today is the last and final hearing on the subject of the garden suite. Thank you.
Thank you. Panel, any questions or comments? We're good? So now I think our final speaker is Fred Kurbejevich, who's online.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Give us your name and address, please.
Yep. Good afternoon, committee members. My name is Fred Kurbejevich, and my address is 3 Rufford Road. I share a property line with 52 Savona Drive. With regards to item 1, I formally object to the requested variance, and it should not be granted for the following reasons. 1, the intent of the bylaw. The 6-meter setback was established to ensure safety, functionality, and compatibility between ancillary residential buildings and adjoining properties. Reducing this requirement undermines the intent of the bylaw and risks setting an undesirable precedent. 2, safety and accessibility. The bylaw requirement provides sufficient space for safe vehicle access, maneuvering, and emergency response. Reducing the setback to 4.57 meters compromises visibility, traffic safety, and emergency access standards. 3, impact on adjacent properties. Locating the garden suite closer to the lot line reduces light, air circulation, and privacy for neighboring properties. It also increases the visual and noise impacts of both the suite and associated parking activity, contrary to the principles of compatibility. 4, failure to meet the Planning Act 4 tests. The variance is not minor, as it materially impacts neighbors' use and enjoyment of their properties. It is not desirable for the appropriate development of the land, as the same use can be achieved within the existing 6-meter standard. It does not maintain the general intent of the zoning bylaw or the official plan, both of which emphasize safety, access, and protection of neighborhood character. It is not the minimum necessary to achieve reasonable use. Alternate designs or layouts could comply fully with the bylaw. 5, precedent and cumulative impact. Approving this variance risks encouraging similar reductions in other applications, leading to an erosion of consistent planning standards across the neighborhood. In concluding, the 6-meter side yard setback is an essential provision that balances intensification with safety, functionality, and compatibility. Reducing it to 4.57 meters would cause undue adverse impacts and undermine the objectives of zoning bylaw 569-2013. For these reasons, I respectfully request the committee deny this variance. With regards to item 2, I formally object to the requested variance for the following reasons. 1, intent of the bylaw must be respected. Section 150.7.60.30 bracket 6 requires minimum separation of 7.5 meters when an ancillary building such as a garden suite exceeds 4 meters in height. This standard was deliberately created to ensure sufficient spatial separation between buildings on the same lot, protect access to light, ventilation, and privacy, and prevent an overly cramped built form that negatively affects livability and fire safety. Reducing the separation to 5.3 meters when the suite will be 5.99 meters tall directly contradicts these planning principles. 2, height and reduced setback magnifies negative impacts. The proposed garden suite is significantly taller than the 4-meter trigger point in the bylaw, allowing a building almost 6 meters high so close to the principal dwelling will create a looming, overbearing massing effect, diminishing enjoyment of the outdoor space between buildings, block natural sunlight and airflow to the main house and yard, reduce privacy between the two structures and potentially for adjoining lots as well. The combinations of excessive height and inadequate separation intensifies the adverse impact beyond what could be considered minor. Safety and fire separation concerns. The 7.5 meter requirement also serves a fire safety function by ensuring adequate clearance for emergency response and preventing fire spread between structures. A reduced separation increases risks and could compromise access for firefighting, contrary to the bylaw's intent. 4, fails the 4 tests of the Planning Act. For a variance to be approved, it must meet all 4 tests. The general intent of the bylaw is not met. The bylaw specifically addresses spacing of taller ancillary buildings to avoid massing and safety conflicts. The general intent of the official plan is not met. The plan emphasizes compatibility, livability, and protecting neighborhood character. A tall building sited too close to another contradicts this. Minor in nature. This is not minor. A 2.15 meters.
Sir, you have 30 seconds to wrap up.
From 7.5 meters is nearly a 30% reduction, which has significant functional and visible consequences. Desirable for development. This is not desirable. The garden suite still can be constructed in compliance and is undesirable. There has been a precedent set under file number A0031/23EYK for 45 William Street, Etobicoke, York.
Sir, your time is up now. Do you have a closing sentence or two?
I do.
Okay, very quickly, please.
Yeah, the city planning refused that other precedent, and in concluding, the 7.5 meter separation requirement exists for good reason to preserve light, privacy, safety, and livability when taller ancillary buildings are introduced. Reducing this distance to 5.35 meters with a building nearly 6 meters tall would compromise all these objectives. The proposed variance is not minor, not necessary, and does not meet the 4 tests under the Planning Act. For these reasons, it should be refused.
Thank you very much. Panel, any questions or comments? For
Sure,
Mr.
I have one question. First of all, thank you very much for the thorough submission. There's a lot of information there that you've provided us with. One thing that seems to be coming back all the time is the precedents. You know that the committee does not deal with precedents. We look at each application individually, holistically on the site. So if something else happened, doesn't mean we're going to make it happen again, whether it was good or whether it was bad. What do you mean, even though we don't operate on the issue of precedents, what do you mean that this would set a precedence in this area?
Well, right now, this is a very established area. 90, 80, 75% are bungalows. And sure, they are doing additions. I've seen a lot of additions. But by allowing something like this, the properties are just they're gonna create a massing effect. It's gonna just destroy the environmental livability of the area. Once people see that something like this is approved, they'll say, oh, okay, so as you said, you may not accept a precedent being set. You judge things on a single by single basis. People are just going to start applying and saying, okay, we're going to put multiple unit dwellings on one lot because we can.
So
regardless of how the neighbors or the
let me understand though, when you say if something like this were to be approved, what do you mean by something like this?
If you approve the 2 variances, allowing them to, bypass the 4 laws. Then that's going to give people the attitude that, yes, we can go ahead and design new plans that are just not friendly to the existing neighborhoods.
But what is it that we're building?
You're allowing them to go closer to the street. It's going to block our business.
Thank you.
It's just.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anything else, panel?
You mentioned 45 William Street in York. I've got it up here on the screen. What was the relationship between that property and the one that we're discussing today?
They wanted a garden suite, and they wanted to decrease the distance between the garden suite and the main dwelling. The proposed suite was going to be 6.2 meters instead of 7.5, and they just the city planning staff refused it. They included the variances would conflict with the bylaw separation requirement, failed to maintain light, privacy, and spacing intended by the rules, and the staff report emphasized that the request reduction was not minor relative to the bylaw standard. Okay. So what they're saying was, even though it's less.
So that was the planning department, though, not the committee.
The city planning staff, yes.
Okay, and it is also, it's mid-block. It's not actually a corner lot. Anyway, just wanted to make that comment. Thank you.
Okay, we'll invite Mr. Wilson to use a 5-minute opportunity to rebut the comments that have been made by the 4 neighbors.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, we're back before committee again. We previously had 4 variances that we were seeking to build this garden suite. We had taken into account the information that was provided at the previous committee meeting, both by neighbors and yourselves. And we redesigned with a revised and reduced application. We have moved away from the adjacent properties. We have modified some windows facing adjacent properties. We still heard from the neighbors that parking was a concern. We were looking to provide 4 parking spots on this property, far beyond what we need. but there was a neighborhood concern about street parking. The setback that we are providing on the street side is 4.57 meters. That's correct. But we do have almost an additional 1 meter from that property line to the sidewalk. We're closer to 5.5 meters, which should permit parking for most sized vehicles. On the adjacent corner property at 3 Rufford, the distance from that parking spot to the sidewalk is 4 meters. We felt pretty good about the 5.5 meters. We were trying to accommodate the neighbors with the additional parking, and I think we've done that. Actually, we're good as stands. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Panel, any questions or comments for Mr. Wilson? No? Okay, then let's go into committee for some discussion and a motion.
I can speak. I was on the earlier panel as well that heard this application. And, you know, I do note the proposed revisions that the applicant has made with respect to the guidance suite. However, the concerns that I had from that original hearing remain, and I'm not satisfied that this application is desirable for use of this land. I'm concerned as well. I think the safety concerns that have been raised by several neighbors are valid, and I share those concerns as well. And because of the safety concerns, I don't believe that this application is a desirable use of the land, and I would I'll wait to see if anybody has any comments, but my inclination is to move to a motion to reject this application.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else want to weigh in? Comments?
I wasn't.
Was a comment?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, was that a comment?
Go ahead.
It was a comment with my motion to reject it held in abeyance pending any comments from anybody else.
You didn't make a motion, did you?
I can make it, like,
I thought you said you'd wait to hear from
I want to hear from everybody
Yeah,
else.
that's what I
but
thought.
yeah.
So let's hear from some others.
So,
Mr.
Chair,
No, Mr. Dalton's going to speak. Sorry, last turn.
no.
Chair prerogative. Mr. Dalton.
Well, I was not on the earlier hearing, and I'm coming in with fresh eyes just looking at this application. So to me, the 2 variances, I understand people's concern, but we have approved others of similar nature. And with that, I would be of a mind to, not that I'm going to, but if see it as how we're going to express what we're thinking. My view of it is it is supportable. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
Okay, Mr. Gully?
Chair, what I wanted to say is it's wonderful to see communities being galvanized, brought together, and speak for the neighborhoods and people who live in them. That's what planning is about, and that's my profession, and that's what I love, when people get engaged so that we hear all the various comments. And in my retirement, I decided to apply to be on this committee because I do want to see good planning practice in the city of Toronto. And I try to do that all the time. And I listen to the neighborhoods, the neighbors, and the last 3 occasions still trying to understand what it was that is so different and what their concerns were. And maybe it's not a bad thing that I came here 3 times, even though it expends a lot of money and time for the people to take time off work and be here, for this committee to hear the application 3 times. But I have to say, even from the original to what we have here today, it's a superlative recommendation. a superlative application. There's two variances, and the variances relate to spacing that really deals with the property itself. I know there's concern from the community also about traffic safety, and that's really my forte was transportation here in Etobicoke when I served my 35 years here. And I'm not concerned in this, I'm always concerned about traffic movement, but I'm not concerned that this application will cause undue hardship, because even though there is a interior garage planned, the area from the front of the garage to the sidewalk is sufficient to accommodate a vehicle. Even not that far of a distance. The requirement may be in the order of 6 meters. That would be the fair distance that you'd want for a car to park, but that's very generous nowadays. It doesn't meet the requirement of a parking spot, but in practicality, you can park a vehicle there without overlapping on the sidewalk. As far as the traffic volumes are concerned, they are local roads. Our local roads are heavily traveled too, and the reason is because we're trying to accommodate cyclists on major arterials, which is very important to accommodate cyclists on major arterials as well as on a local road. So our local roads are now experiencing some additional traffic, but again, the separation from the travel section of the road, the boulevard, the sidewalk, I feel comfortable that that's not an issue. It can happen anywhere. People drive erratically. We don't want that, but in this case, I don't feel that that's an issue. We've gone from many variances to just two. Being at a corner location, in my view, this is where you can have some intensification, soft intensification, introduce another unit in our residential communities. I think this is what we need. We need in terms of accommodating additional families in our neighborhoods, in our lots. This is a location at the intersection of two local roads. So I feel that the two variances, even though they require some spacing variances, are minor. They're not major variances that they're asking in terms of spacing.
Thank you, Mr. Gully. Ms. Alderson, do you have anything to say?
I mean, I'm fresh to this too as well, because I wasn't here on the 14th. And when I reviewed it last night, I actually thought, like Mr. Gully, I thought that the corner lot actually would be a good site for some intensification. I also thought the design was particularly good, and I didn't really have any objections to it, and there was nothing from any departments that gave me pause to really think that it was a terrible plan. I mean, there's nothing from community planning on this file. There was a very long memo written by Urban Forestry, but they're now okay with everything. And two small, relatively small variances. I just think the city is trying to do this properly, and we have turned down garden suites that, at this committee, that didn't fit, that weren't going to work. But I do feel that this is a good fit for this particular lot. I think it is desirable, and I would second a motion for approval.
Okay, we haven't got a motion yet.
I know that.
I hear you. You signaled loud and clear. I would say we always receive information from three key sources on all applications: the applicant, the neighbors, and city departments. And I think the thing that strikes me and probably turns my view on this one way as opposed to the other is the fact that we don't have any negative comments from our planning department or our transportation review comment. And I believe if there are any serious planning or transportation safety related issues, we would have heard from one or both of those departments, but we don't. So we're dealing with this without that input. So we basically have the applicant our own feeling about the appropriateness of what's being proposed here and the comments of the neighbors. So I will be supporting a motion to approve this for reasons I think well articulated by Mr. Dalton and Mr. Gully. And you, Ms. Alderson. So can we have a motion?
Chairman, I'm prepared to make a motion. I want to, first of all, say that as far as examining the two variances before us, I did examine the two variances that are before us today, and those are the only two variances that were tasked to deal with, to make sure that they meet the test. And in my view, they do meet the tests. But I also took the time to carefully review the justification report, critically review the justification report of Scott Wilson, dated September 19. That was in our package. I wanted to go through that report thoroughly because, again, I felt I owed it to the community in terms of the number of people that have come forward and spoken the last time and again today, and that's they've taken the time to submit their comments. And in some way, I feel very responsible to make sure that I hear the community out. Even though I have to make a technical decision, it's important that part of that technical decision has to bring into effect also the comments that they made. And I'm convinced that this is a good application for this subject location. So I'm going to move approval and authorization of these two variances with no condition. Planning had no conditions. Transportation services has no conditions. Urban forestry had no conditions. Development engineering had no conditions. Move approval with no conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Gully. Is there a seconder for Mr. Gully's motion?
I will second that motion, actually.
Ms. Alderson, all in favor? Opposed? Okay, the motion to approve carries by a vote of 4-1.
Excuse me, the forestry still has an issue.
I beg your pardon?
Forestry has an issue with it.
They wrote a long memo, really, and in the end, they just said they were okay.
It says that they do not object to the approval of the proposed variances. No approval conditions are requested. Their comments relate to other parts that are not before the committee.
And please note on file, there's no space for parking as the applicant stated. That's not true.
Okay, Mr. Chair, the next item is item 11. Sure.
When we return from break, Mr. Chair, I'll sound check Nikolai for item 9.
Oh, yeah. He's good to go?
He's back, but whether he's good to go is to be determined. I'll sound check him.
Well, let's check if we can hear him. We'll dispense with it. If we can't, we'll move on.
Yes, I'm ready.
You're ready.
I hope you can hear me well. Yeah, sorry about that.
Just go. Okay, sorry, Mr. Vaganov.
Yeah, okay, so we have application for the backyard canopy, but we only seeking for the minor variance for the deck platform in the backyard. Because we limited with the 4 square meters as per zoning bylaw. And if you can see the existing photos, pictures, you will see that the balcony is located on the addition for the main floor, which was done back in 2001. And small portion of the deck of the balcony was used throughout the decades. Now, because owners wanted to add canopy over the whole portion of the deck, we're triggering this minor variance because we want to enclose the rest of the deck with the railings. So this is the reason we're here today, to get the approval for the size of the balcony. From what I know, owners did briefly speak to the neighbors on both sides. Guys on the west side, because the building is longer, it's basically just a brick wall there, so we shouldn't have any issues there. The guys on the east side, well, we're proposing the frosted glass for the railing on that side with the bug screens, which was one of the reasons to build the canopy in the first place, because they have an insect problem there on the Lake Ontario. It will create more privacy between the both neighbors. So verbally, all the neighbors were okay with it, as far as I know. So, well, actually, this minor variance, it seems like a super minor in nature. It passes the 4 tests. This is what owners desired for many years. I hope it will get approved. We'll be glad to answer any questions. Thank you.
Yes, sir. What's the purpose of the rooms that gain access to this platform on the second floor? Are they dining rooms,
It's just the
bedrooms?
bedrooms. It's 3 existing bedrooms.
There's 3 bedrooms.
Yeah, it's only bedrooms and only one access there, just from one of the bedrooms.
Okay, so there are sliding doors right now from one of the bedrooms?
Yeah. This is how they use the existing portion of the deck for the past decades. Yeah, there is one sliding door.
There's one what door?
Yeah, there is a one sliding door existing, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Any other questions, panel?
No, I just wanted to clarify, you're talking about the second story above the garage where there's a Juliet balcony and 2 French doors right now?
But it's at the
No, there is no garage there. This is a backyard.
Why does it say
This
front?
is-
Why does it say front platform in the notice?
I think it's a mistype or it's some kind of mistake. No,
Okay.
it's a backyard proposal, and what we have on the main floor, it's a dining living area which was extended back in the times.
Okay, I apologize. I think I'm looking at the wrong application. Thank you.
Okay, we don't have any speakers on this one, Adam?
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
Okay, well, let's go into committee and make a decision.
So with that, I'd like to move a motion for approval, as the application is very straightforward and there are no conditions.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion to approve has been seconded. All in favor? That's approved. Oh, you're.
Yeah, no.
Okay, unanimously approved. Moving on to item 11.
We were going to take a break. Did anyone need a break?
I think we should go for, I don't know.
Any interest? No? We're good? Keep going?
Gonna keep going until 2.
Well, we're gonna, whatever. Well, I guess we can wrap it up. Well, let's see. Do you think what, in half an hour you'll need a break? Or what? Just keep going? I don't want anybody to be uncomfortable. We're all comfortable and happy? Okay. Item 11. You're not happy, but okay. That's okay. Item 11, 40 Alma Street. Purpose is to construct a second-story front platform. There's one variance. There's absolutely nothing on file that concerns us from neighbors or agencies. I would propose, panel, we treat this as being very straightforward and not in need of a presentation. Are we all agreed? Okay. So let's ask for permission from Mr. Trotter, the agent. Andrew Trotter, are you with us?
Yes, Andrew Trotter, 81 St. Clarence Avenue, and thank you for not taking the break. And
Okay.
I'm good. If you have any questions, that's no problem.
Good, so you're okay with handling it that way? We don't need to hear from a presentation. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So I guess before we do that, panel, any questions or comments for Mr. Trotter? No?
Just, are you okay with urban forestry condition number 2?
Yes, we've already provided a arborist report for that.
Yes, I note that,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
So you're okay with that condition?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's have a motion.
I'm happy to make a motion because this was actually the one that I thought we were on the last time. So I have looked at this carefully. So yes, I think this would be a very desirable addition to this house and move for approval, subject to urban forestry condition number 2.
Thank you very much, Ms. Alderson. Is there a seconder for Ms. Alderson's motion?
I'll second that.
Mr. Dalton, thank you. All in favor? That's approved unanimously. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Trotter.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Thank you very much.
Item 12, 37 ORKNEY Crescent. Purpose is to construct a second-story addition above the existing garage. There are 2 variances. Again, we have no neighbor letters, no agency department letters. Panel, maybe we treat this as straightforward, not requiring a presentation. Agreed? Okay, Saba Al Mathno.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, this
Sorry,
is
the agent
Mladen.
Mladen Subara.
Actually, I'm the owner of the place. So
Oh, there you are.
yeah. So
Well, okay, as you were walking up, I think you heard us say we don't really need a presentation. It's pretty straightforward.
perfect.
So if you can just stay there, we may have a question or two.
Of course.
Proceed on that
Yeah.
basis?
Of course.
Okay, so panel, any questions or comments? No? Okay, then, let's go into committee and make a decision.
I just have a comment. Beautiful tree in the front yard. Do you put lights on it around the holidays? I'm just curious.
The maple tree, the Japanese maple? Yeah.
Oh, the tall one. The evergreen.
Oh, the evergreen has actually gone a long time ago, and it was
Oh,
approved
okay,
because
so I'm
it
looking
died.
at August 2022.
Yeah, it died. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
It died. Okay.
You're supposed to give us up-to-date photos with your application.
I was
old
looking at
photos.
Google Street View.
Oh, that was from the Google. Yeah. Yeah.
But the photo with your application shows an evergreen in your
Shows
front
an
yard.
evergreen as well?
So that was actually started in by the builder. Oh, sorry, with the modular home addition. They submitted all the photos. I do have a new photo as well. I didn't know that I would have to submit that.
Just letting you know.
Yeah. Okay.
We like current photos.
Okay. Because that tree died, so it was cut.
Very sad.
before.
Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't know.
So can we have a motion?
Yep, so with that, I'll move a motion for approval as the application is very straightforward, there are no conditions, and it meets the 4 tests.
I'll
Thank
second
you
that
very much,
motion.
Mr. Dalton. You're seconding it,
Yep,
Ms. Alderson? All in favor? That's approved unanimously.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Item 13, 9 FAIRMAR Avenue. Purpose is to construct a new detached dwelling with an attached garage. There are 4 variances. We have transportation review conditions. And we have the applicant's comments back to transportation review. We have 2 support letters. And I think we need to hear from the agent on this one, just around the transportation review stuff, if nothing else. So Saba Al Mathno is the agent.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and committee members. My name is Saba Al-Mathna from QBS Architects. I am the agent representing the application for 9 FAIRMAR. In fact, we have 6 letters of support, and we did review the transportation, and I did communicate with them back. The condition for this application is we had originally a building permit, and then the construction commenced. During construction, the builder removed like more than 50% of the walls, and then we had to go back to submit a revision for building permit. Hence, it was deemed a new building. And when this application reached to transportation, they assumed this is like a new house. So they are objecting to the parking space size. Then I communicated with them and that it's an existing situation. Unfortunately, like we cannot do anything about that. They acknowledged and they just requested that we circulate to them back the notice of decision and copy of the approved site plan.
Okay, we had a little sort of a debriefing, as we always do this morning on this one, and I'm not determining the outcome of our panel decision on this, but we can't, I'm sure you agree, impose the Transportation Commission about the parking space width, because you don't, they're asking for you to demonstrate that it's in accordance with the bylaw, and it isn't. That's why you're here for a variance. So if we do approve it, we wouldn't include transportation review condition 1. So I'm just making that comment. So you're finished your presentation?
Yes, sir. And I am here to
So
answer
panel,
any questions.
Any questions or comments? No, we're good?
Just, actually, I do have a question. So are you able to park a car in that garage as it stands?
Yes, like the overage, like the existing parking space right now is 2.94 meter, and the bylaw asks for 3.2.
Okay. So you're close.
Yes, very close.
Okay. But it's a relatively small car.
Yeah, it is an existing condition.
Right. Okay.
Well, just maybe I'll defer to Mr. Gully on this question. Regarding transportation condition 2, is that normal for them to require notations on a site plan? I'm concerned especially about 2A. The owner must obtain approvals from Parks, Forestry, and Recreation Division for any tree. Oh, that's tree like hoarding, I guess. Hoarding for construction. Eh? I misread that. I thought it had something to do with trees impacted by the. So would that be okay? That condition 2? And we've already decided if we're going to approve this, we won't include their condition 1. And I think that's the only condition we have to deal with. So, okay, so we have no neighbors or people, Adam, at home or in the room?
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so let's go into committee and make a decision then.
Okay, so with that, I'd like to move a motion for approval, as I do believe the application meets the 4 tests, subject to the September 29th, 2025 transportation memo condition number 2.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dalton. Is there a seconder for Mr. Dalton's motion?
I'll second that motion.
Ms. Alderson, thank you. All in favor? That's approved unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. So moving on to item 14.
Mr. Chair, 14 and 15 were deferred.
And 15 was deferred. We're on 16 already.
We're on
Holy
16.
smokes. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is an application for consent and 2 applications for variances, 1 for each part. And I see we have, presumably, Mr. Tyler Peck.
Correct, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
If you could tell us what you're proposing here, sir?
Now, just before he starts, Mr. Chair, the applicant has submitted a revised R plan, which doesn't match what went out to the public, but then the plans don't match the original R plan. So if you do want to switch it so that everything matches, you would have to be deferred.
It was my understanding that the committee could approve the revised draft R plan. It's simply a notation change in the part numbers, parts 1 and 2, to reflect the architectural plans. There's no changes to any of the requested variances or to the characteristics of either lot.
But what we sent out doesn't match because the consent parts 1 and 2 don't match the variances parts 1 and 2. So if someone's reviewing those plans or interpreting anything, what they're looking at as part one may not be part one.
In our opinion, there's no material difference to the application, and should the committee choose to approve, we would request that they approve the revised draft R plan with the associated variances.
So my advice is to defer. The applicant should have ensured that when they submitted the application, that their information matched, including the zoning review, the plans, and the draft R plan.
I'm satisfied that this is potentially, well, not potentially, it is misleading to the public. They don't get the true, real story from reading your materials as submitted. So I hope you understand that, and I'm going to invite a motion, and potentially it will be to defer until you sort out, and then re-notify and make sure the notice is accurate, that the parts referred to and the variances are all in line.
It is a simple swapping of parts 1 and 2. There's no material difference to the application or the application materials related to
If I'm
the
looking
variances.
at part 1 on an R plan and I'm reading variance conditions on the same alleged part, I'm not getting the true story.
If that's the committee's decision to defer, we can't object to that. I would rather the application be
It's just a
heard.
simple flip, but I'm talking about members of the public need and deserve to have fully accurate information. When you reference parts and variances related to parts, they have to be accurate.
Understood, and we did file the revised R plan for view of the public, and in our opinion, again, there's no material difference to the application materials, but I'm in the committee's hands and available to answer questions as well,
Do you want to say
or
something?
to provide a presentation as required.
No, I'm prepared to make a motion to defer to,
Well, no, we have to hear from Mr. Choles first.
okay, well,
Yeah.
I thought you were saying,
So we'll do that. We're going to invite Andy Choles to speak. Mr. Choles?
Hello?
Hi. So I hopefully you've been listening in. I know you're quite familiar with Committee of Adjustment procedures. There's an error with respect to the labeling of parts on an R plan and the minor variances related to those parts. So we've been, I believe we're going to hear a motion to defer because we have misleading information, and that information needs to be clarified and notice reissued. So my question to you is, we're not at this point ready to discuss or consider the merits of this application. We merely want your view on whether or not you are in favor of a deferral.
It's been a long morning and interesting, but I don't oppose a deferral.
Okay, I don't see that we have an alternative. So glad we have your support. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
now I think we can entertain a motion. Nobody else wants to speak to this?
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
Good.
Chair, may I ask a question?
Yeah.
I don't mean to complicate the matter, but if we were to deal with it with the current R plan, and can it be technically changed after the reference, then the lot numbers? No. Okay, thank you.
You're good? Okay, so then let's hear a motion.
Could I just say, I'm the architect, could I just speak? I know I didn't register, but since I'm here, I'd just like to comment on it.
Maybe you can tell him and tell us.
It's a mirrored situation, there's no change, so it's a typographic error, part 2.
I know that we've noted this. It's just a typographic error on the draft R plan of part 1 and part 2. The variances are identical in the descriptions with addresses to be assigned and the conveyed and the retained lots. There's no material difference to the application itself.
You know that, the public may not.
Understood.
So with that, I'd like to move a motion for deferral so the notice issue can be resolved and reissued.
I'll second that.
All in favor? That is unanimously approved. It's deferred. Get your part numbers aligned with your variances, and we'll see you later. Okay, last but by no means least, item 17, we have a revised application. The purpose is to construct a new detached dwelling with an attached garage. There are, 13 variances, and variance number 1 was modified to reduce the amount of coverage. We have, this was a deferred item from May 29th to provide the applicant an opportunity to consult with community planning and the neighbors. Planning is okay with this current revised application, as is Ravine and Natural Features, as is TRCA, who points out that a permit from TRCA is required. And that's all we have.
Now, Mr. Chair, if you note on the revision, the original square meters for the coverage for variance number 1 was actually less than what the bylaw permits, which was a typo. The coverage number is correct. So now it appears that the square meters is larger, but it's 3 square meters over what is permitted. So I just want to bring that to your attention and to make sure you're comfortable with that typo.
So from the public perspective, is the information they have,
They did not get the revision, so
they
what
don't
got-
know about the reduced amount of coverage?
No, but if you look at the original notice, it would have said a maximum permitted coverage is 235.41 square meters and proposed is 219.16, which wouldn't require a variance. The percentage is correct in both cases. There was a typo by unfortunate staff.
Well, okay, we can,
So it's potentially a notice issue. Again.
But the percentage is right.
The percentage is correct. Like, it's clear there was a typo.
Yeah.
But I want you to be comfortable if you decide to proceed.
okay, we'll find out, I guess, when we get to the point where we're going to discuss this. I believe we would benefit from a presentation here. There are a lot of variances. And I would like to invite Peter Giordano to speak to us on this application.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. I am Peter Giordano, David Small Designs. We're at 1405 Cornwall Road in Oakville, and we are the authorized agents and designers.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, great. If I could ask the moderator to advance my presentation to slide 4, please. You had already mentioned that there was a reduction in the coverage. I was going to point that out. We did resubmit a site plan that was dated October the 2nd, 2025. That was submitted to the Application Information Center. So that information would, on that site plan, would have current numbers, the reduced coverage numbers, and all of that information would be current. If approved, it could be based on that revised submission, I'd just like to point out. But we're here today requesting your consideration on a number of variances. We deferred our original application of May of this year so that we could address concerns from TRCA and planning staff. Our clients were willing to accept large compromises to respect TRCA's strict constraints and allow our application variances to be reconsidered and reductions to be made. In front of you, the results of those efforts. The proposed dwelling sits in a lot with a sharp tapering front lot line, while also tapering slightly from front to rear. In addition, the TRCA required that the rear yard, retaining walls, and pool area were all to remain untouched. The new home required careful positioning within the constrained buildable envelope. Because of these conditions, most of the variance items are technical in nature rather than the result of excessive massing or overdevelopment. As such, we do believe our variance items meet the criteria of being minor in nature. Slide number 5, if you could advance to that, please. Now that addresses each variance item, and it explains our rationale as it relates to site constraints combined with the needs of our clients and specific design program nuances. I can expand on any of these items if you require or upon request, but I will focus on items that we believe to be more important or require additional clarification. Can you go to the next slide, please? So these are 3D images of our house as it fits into the environment. We carefully modeled the grading so that you could see the relationship of our building with adjacent property. Lot coverage and floor space index, both consistent with previously approved projects nearby. The footprint of the house, coverage for the footprint of the house includes both the front and rear porches and are less than the required permitted coverage. The existing raised porch at the rear of the property, which TRCA will not allow us to modify or remove, that accounts for the overage in coverage numbers. Front and left side setbacks, due to the irregular shape of the front lot line and the fixed TRCA rear limits, the side yard setback occurs only at the left rear corner of the property, and that's a pinch point due to the tapering of the lot. We are maintaining and bettering the setback of the current, the new home in comparison to the current home. The building length and depth are only slightly beyond the bylaw and are consistent with other homes in the neighborhood. The tapering front property line exaggerates the measuring point for the length and can therefore, and that can also be seen on slide number 5, which we were looking at a few minutes ago. The design is a 2-story contemporary home with a flat roof. It's consistent in scale and height with the neighboring properties at number 8 and number 12 Stonegate. Although the wall height appears to be slightly greater due to grade, the actual overall building height is lower than both adjacent homes. The architectural elements, the parapets, the entrance steps, the roof line variations add interest to the balance of the facade, contributing to a positive streetscape character. Driveway width and front landscaped area, it's also due to the sharply tapering front lot. It's only a 2% reduction in the landscape, and I will point out that the driveway remains the same in the boulevard, so the expansion only occurs on the private side of the property. The variances are consistent with previously approved FSIs. I'll finalize by just saying that staff comments from TRCA Ravine, as you know, are supportive. There are no specific expressing any specific concerns from any of those departments. In closing, we believe the application to be represent a thoughtful, well-proportioned design that works with the challenges of site constraints, respects the TRCA environment, and maintains an established rhythm and scale for the community. On behalf of the owners, I respectfully ask the committee to consider and approve these requested variances. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Giordano. Panel, any questions or comments? No, we're good. And Adam, no members of the public wish to speak to this item?
That's correct, Mr. Chair, just the applicant.
Okay, so I guess we can go into committee. I'll just kick it off with a comment on this issue with respect to variance 1 about the coverage. I guess I'm personally not concerned about it. You know, the maximum coverage is 33%. It's 33.3. The maximum coverage in square meters terms is 235.41. The actual is 238.26, which is like 1%. So I'm not troubled with that as sort of a factor that would mitigate toward sending this back. I think we can proceed with it on this basis.
Agreed. If the percentage was changing or had to be different, then it'd be a notice issue, but as long as the percentage is firm, I think we're good to roll.
So let's go into committee discussion if required. Otherwise, a motion.
Yeah, I'd like to move a motion for approval. I do believe the application is supportable and meets the 4 tests, and there are no conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Dalton. Is there a seconder for Mr. Dalton's motion?
I thought there was an urban forestry condition. Yeah,
I don't see,
forestry.
okay, I
Oh,
don't
yes,
see
I did.
forestry one.
Yes, I'm sorry,
Are
forestry.
we absolutely sure about that?
One.
It's on their consolidated.
Their October 2nd forestry memo said condition two.
I didn't, okay, I
I'll
didn't
leave it
pick
to
up,
Barb
but
to
I have
for
figure out
sure.
what.
I
There's
have
always
number
two.
one, but it doesn't matter.
As amended.
Urban forestry condition.
As amended, correct. Yeah.
Sophia, you take it.
Sophia.
I'll second it with forestry condition number 1.
Okay, is that a favorable amendment, Mr. Dalton?
It is.
Okay, so we have a motion, seconded. All in favor? Item 17 is approved. By
That's
majority.
wonderful. Thank you all so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, you too.
Oh, we will now. And because my microphone is on, I'm going to make my favorite motion of the day, which is to adjourn at 1:12 p.m.
All in favor of adjournment? That carries unanimously. We are adjourned at 1:12 p.m.
That's what that says.
1:15?